Well, hello, and welcome to another QuarantineCast, the first QuarantineCast of 2021. This is Season 2, Episode 1, for those of you keeping track at home. I don't know why you would be, but we're glad you're here. Brian, Cody, and Craig. Craig will join us momentarily, fingers crossed, because he is using a new computer tonight and having a little difficulty, but Cody is here. Hi, Cody. Happy New Year.
What's going on? Happy New Year, Brian. Good to see you.
What's that? I'm sorry.
It's good to see you again.
It is good to see you. We will talk later about a recent visit that we had, which was very exciting and fun. So let's be forthcoming as we normally are when we're talking to everybody. First of all, glad you're here. You can we'll be watching the chat. We welcome all your messages tonight because we do want to hear from you, hear what's going on and your thoughts tonight. Because as you know, today was a difficult day in America, to say the least, and so. We had a little conference call, the three of us earlier, to see if I had said, well, would you guys rather postpone? Do you want to not do this and postpone and see what's going on? And I said, Brenda, Happy New Year. And Janice, hello. Yes, Craig will be back. And I put it out to the guys to what should we do? Because this is one of those days where you know, we know that you come here for a little levity, some funny stories, a laugh, but you also know that because you've listened to Cody and myself and Craig for years, that we're not afraid of talking about the big news stories of the day. So that's kind of what the discussion was about. Do we do this? And Craig was the one who initially said, listen, we've got to do it. And I agreed and Cody agreed. And we just kind of decided that, yeah, this is something we can talk about, and we've all got different opinions, and we've all got different thoughts, and you do too. So, you know, let's get to it. All right. So, this is craziness. The siege on the Capitol today.
The big story. You're talking about Janice's birthday, right?
I am talking about Janice's birthday. Hell, Janice. No. Here's what I wanted to talk. I was all excited today when I wake up, Cody, because you know what today is, don't you?
Christmas.
No, that was a couple weeks ago. Christmas was 12 days ago. That was your hint. Christmas was 12 days ago.
Boxing Day.
No, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. You're very close. You're not even in the ballpark.
Wait, it's your birthday.
No, my birthday is the day before your birthday.
All right.
So it's not not my birthday, not Christmas, not Boxing Day.
What is today?
I'll give you another hint. Yes, Mike is correct. Partially. Mike is correct. He says it's Epiphany. Epiphany is Little Christmas. It's 12th night. It's also King's Day. It's the day that the wise men supposedly arrived to bring the gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh to the baby Jesus. Now, that's all well and good in the Christian tradition. I see Craig in the green room. Give me a thumbs up, Craig, if you're ready to go. There he is. We welcome Craig Collins back to the
Am I on this thing?
Yeah, man, you're on.
Okay.
We told everybody you were on a new computer and having a few difficulties.
Well, quick tip: you can't use Google Developer Mode from Chrome if you want to do Restream. Can't be in Developer Mode.
Developer Mode.
Yeah, why are you in Developer Mode?
I didn't know. It's a whole different thing that we'll talk about after the show. That won't be for here.
Okay. So
it's very odd. It's a very odd way to start, but yeah, I'm in developer mode. I'm trying to switch careers, be a developer for. No, I'm kidding.
But it's a thing. Listen, we all need backup careers.
We do.
Yeah. I tried juggler, but my arthritis is not allowing me to make a go of it.
I think you were saying important stuff, Noonan.
No, I mentioned the conversation that the three of us had about why we're still here tonight, which is important. But then I started to say that I was very excited when I woke up today, and I was asking Cody if he knew what today was, and he doesn't seem to know anything about today.
King's Day.
It is King's Day, which means?
Well, Betty got a baby in the cake, and in Mexico, you eat a cake, and somebody gets the baby, and that's good luck for a year. But they celebrate when the king showed up for baby Jesus.
That's right. So it's Little Christmas. It's the Epiphany. It is the official start of Carnival season, the Mardi Gras season. So I am jazzed up. But yes, Craig, you are right. Today is the first day you can eat king cake, theoretically. I mean, technically, if you wanted, you could eat king cake all year. But this is the day that Carnival season starts. So you eat king cake now until Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, and then you vomit copious amounts because you're right. Now, see, the Mardi Gras tradition with the baby is if you find the baby in the cake, then next year you have to buy the cake.
Yes.
So that is that. Look at that. Craig comes in. He knows. Cody thought it was Christmas.
Well, that's bad. That's a bad look, Cody.
First guess was Christmas. Then he guessed Boxing Day. Then he guessed my birthday, which he knows is the day before his birthday.
Yeah.
So not even close.
This is not a good sign for the conversations to come if Cody is this confused so far.
Marta going way back for this callback. Do you put the king cakes in the garbage before you ate them? No, Marta. I usually, when I'm at Mardi Gras, I usually get up super early. I'm in line well before dawn to get my king cakes, and I eat them fresh.
I'm psyched that Marta forever is going to remember that you eat trash cookies. That's never going away now.
I think at some point we might have to go, all right.
Before we like transition to the topics of the day, I want to share with you guys all the items I have to handle 2 hours of a discussion that I hope we go I know we're going to go other places. I got cookies, a whole bag of cookies.
Wow. Wait a minute. Those match our new background.
Yes, they do. Yes. They're
with the blue cookie? They're
two different shades of blue. I got them from a local bakery here. They're 1 day old, so they're much cheaper. That's always nice.
Are they frosted? Is that the blue, the frosting? Are they like sugar cookies?
It's sugar cookie. Yes.
Oh my God, those look delicious.
I also have a dozen donuts in the other room, a full dozen for just me. I have a soda stream, of course, because I do that. And then right now sitting in the fridge, which I got to get at some point, is a frosted cup of just tequila and ice, just tequila on the rocks. As we get into everything that is this day, I am ready for all kinds of drinking and binge eating comfort foods.
I like both of those ideas. I actually went with a harder drink than I was planning. I am going with a Goose Island wheat wine. An entire bottle of wheat wine for tonight because, as you said, Craig, today's a day that, and I hate to use it as a crutch, but today's a day that calls for a stiff drink.
Yeah, it does. I'm going to go get my tequila. You guys talk about
all right, Cody, what do you got there?
Is that a 2019 bottle of wheat wine?
This is the one that came from your home. Well, both of my wheat wines are 2019. So wheat wine is only 2019.
Well, sure. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I busted out my last can. I had a 4-pack, my last of the 4-pack of Revolution Straight Jacket.
Ooh.
Which is pretty good. And I have a Scotch ale that my sister and my brother-in-law got me for Christmas that is waiting for my second drink. The Scotch ale, half the ABV of the Straight Jacket, which is one of those 15-ish% beers.
Nice.
So, but it's dude, Revolution just they're so good. So good.
Is that what brand is that? What George Clooney's tequila?
No. This is the Cuervo Especial, and I'm just going to have a whole bottle of this evening. So
wow,
let's have a good time,
folks. Buckle up because this could turn a little crazy. Which Evelyn's on her 4th Miller Lite. That's what. Listen, we like the listeners and the viewers to be as imbibing as much as we are.
You know what I realized? I did just pour the cup, but I do have this kind of tradition so far since Betty's been out of the house. Just go straight from the bottle. The containers of the thing. So
I was going to say, what are you doing with a glass? Did you go to?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Finishing school? Emily Post call your house? What's going on over there?
I have a ridiculous setup. You guys are on my television in my living room. We're moving. A lot of stuff's in storage. So on my TV and like a little computer is connected to the television. This is a ridiculous distraction this evening as well. So just forewarning there.
You want it to go like this?
Yeah, I can't look at you guys. Because the TV's here and then the computer. See, I don't know. I'm not going to make a lot of eye contact this evening.
That's all right. The way you were looking before was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fine.
Are we still setting up or are we getting in?
I'm looking at Craig.
Yeah, no, it's about it's about time. Listen, you were supposed to be running the show the last time but you haven't been here, so I don't know if today's the day you want to take over. You want to run the show, move things along, get things going.
I'm going to eat a sugar cookie. You run the show, Noonan. It's on the Brian Noonan Show page.
Yeah. All right. Everybody knows what happened today. There was an attempted coup at the White House, at the Capitol building. There was a siege. It started out with a big rally that the president had, everybody was, big rally on the 6th because the ceremonial procedure of just saying, yes, the Electoral College votes are good was supposed to take place today. It's still taking place because thugs can't really stop the government. They did for a few hours, but long story short, they cannot. So there's a big rally. Kimberly Guilfoyle speaks, and by speaks I mean screams incoherently. Then the president's
Melania Trump's aide resigned. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, she resigned. Donnie Jr. got up. He spouted some crap. Then the president got up and basically told people you can't take anything without strength, and we should just march down the street to the Capitol. And then I'll march with you. But then he scurried away and he held up in the White House, and they did. All these people with Trump flags and Confederate flags and Stop the Steal and all of this have been believing this nonsense that the election was stolen, and they marched to the Capitol. Now, let me ask you guys both this. You've traveled a little bit. I'm sure you've been to a government building. You've been probably to court once or twice or a courthouse. It's usually pretty hard to get in these places. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's not easy. There's usually security. There's metal detectors. There's all kinds of layers of security to you getting from outdoors to well within a government facility indoors.
And if you've noticed, let's take Kenosha, for example. Can we take Kenosha, for example?
All right.
They were anticipating protests when the Jacob Blake verdict or decision came out from the DA. So what did they do? They had fencing put around the courthouse. They had National Guardsmen there. They were ready in case there was violence. Now, the president and a lot of people have been talking about January 6th and people coming to D.C. for weeks and weeks. Am I the only one who's surprised that there was not more security at the Capitol? Just the Capitol Police. They were all alone.
The way you phrase that, I'm going to say yes. I did not believe, and I hope that this is true, that everyone involved in this did not believe today could occur. I just didn't think. I said on a national program that I'm on every so often, just this past week, that this sort of thing would not happen here, that anyone worried about the rioting and the danger that could potentially be incited by some of the rhetoric that was being used politically was pretending our country wasn't our country. And today, I was wrong. And now I'm drinking a lot of tequila and having a lot of sugar cookies because that wasn't our country, man. I've been watching Noonan. I think on the conference call, you said that you've been watching the news pretty much nonstop since this started happening.
Yeah,
me too. It's surreal. The 2020 was a trash can fire of a year. I'm going to start using bad words, and I'm only a few sips into tequila. I'm going to try to fight it.
Yeah, please don't say trash can. Please say garbage can.
Okay, well, yes, I can say the bad words, though. I can go completely rogue. This is on the internet, right? Or it is YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah.
They could censor us. All right, I won't. I'll hold them. And I was like, 2021 is going to be way better. I think I even did a New Year's Eve show where it's not. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What's happening is insane. And then the president of the United States, all the flaws that are that human, and if you support him or not, it's irrelevant right now.
Yeah.
You figure there's a moment where the last thing breaks, the reality snaps in. And is it good that it takes reality to force a lot of people to be human beings? No. If you can say all this crazy stuff for weeks and months and whatever, and as long as nothing really crazy happens, you can feel like you did no damage. But the minute that the world kicks you in the nuts, you got to accept it and come back and say, okay, I was wrong. This has to stop. You do the full 180. And it doesn't look good, but it's the world we live in. And he didn't do it. He didn't do the 180. Today, the president utterly failed us in every sense of the word. And I need more tequila.
Yeah, it was all. Cody, you want to add? Oh, well, let's you real quick. Craig, we kind of got the vibe of how it made you feel. That it was, just unbelievable and surreal and all that. Cody, how did you feel as you were seeing some of this?
Oh, I haven't finished my first beer. You can't ask me that.
Well, just give your
sugar cookie.
Gut emotional. I would love a sugar cookie.
Okay, here, let me hold on. This is Noonan's.
Your gut emotional reaction, my
gut emotional reaction was probably not as severe as a lot of people's, for various reasons. look, here's the thing. The reason people stormed the Capitol today was a very stupid reason. People were mad that a guy lost an election fairly, that there's literally no evidence anywhere of any kind of wrongdoing whatsoever. And they're really mad that their guy lost. That's a very childish, stupid way to storm, reason to storm any government building. That's the dumbest reason you could do for something, right?
Right.
So at the same time, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this on the podcast, on the QuarantineCast before, but I don't really like anyone in our government. I don't trust them. I don't think they represent us. I think that they're very bad. I think that a lot of things the majority of Americans want, like legalized marijuana and spending less on the military and all this other stuff, our politicians don't care. I think they answer to money. It's bad. Everyone's very corrupt. I have an extraordinarily low just trust and patience with anyone in government. So there was a small part of me, and I hope one person watching this felt this, so I'm at least validating one person's emotions. But there's a little part of me that was like, that's kind of cool. I hope they flip some tables and break some stuff. And I hope some of the people in power feel really threatened and afraid. I do.
Yeah, you need to explain that even better.
Yeah, I think you need to. I get what you're saying, but
I don't want anarchy, Cody.
I don't want violence. I don't call for violence. I absolutely, but
our system's broken.
There was some video from a British news outlet interviewing a bunch of these protesters, and a lot of them said, "This is our house. Our politicians work for us. This is our house." And
that part I agree. This is the only part where I agree with they do work for us, but I agree with you that they don't seem to be working for us.
That is right. Now, Trump losing re-election does not mean that they're not working for us, right? That it's a totally separate issue. But it is our house, and it is our government. And there was a little bit of a cathartic feeling of I like to see a little bit of chaos and see things stirred up and feel like someone is making some kind of statement. Now, in this context, it was the worst statement. It's the dumbest thing to protest for. We weren't storming the Capitol to get paid parental leave for people, nice minimum wage.
That is also a really dumb reason to storm the That is a real stupid example. Reasons. Cody, no. Can we silence Cody for 30 seconds?
No, we gotta listen. We're not.
Paid parental leave was the most self-serving example you could possibly have provided, Mr. New Father.
Doesn't matter.
The guy who just came off paid parental leave.
He's get a storm for that. No,
just went on The View and did a whole thing on paid parental leave because she had a kid.
Oh, my God.
Fellow Republicans, we need to push for this because it's garbage that we live in a country that doesn't offer paid parental leave. Meghan McCain is doing this.
No, stop. Right? You gotta. I can't. The words.
I'm sorry. No. Anyone who's had a kid knows that we should have better paid parental leave.
Well, let's get off paid parental leave.
How about thousands of dollars to every American to help with the horribleness that has been the economy because of COVID-19 or the whatever you want to say, bailing people out of poverty.
If you'd let me finish, Craig, that was on my list of 85 things.
I'm objecting to the order.
There are I didn't.
Craig is redlining your proposal.
Look, most of this glass is empty. All right. All I'm saying is, if you gave me 1,000 reasons, a list of 1,000 reasons, and said, "Oh, this is why people are storming the Capitol building," what they did today isn't even on that list. It's not even on the list of good reasons. It's the wrong reason.
I will give you that.
Other reasons where I wouldn't necessarily agree. I wouldn't necessarily be that was totally worth storming the Capitol. But some part of me would be oh, Americans are at least standing up and trying to get something out of this. Right?
To demonstrate how little any of the three of us believe the narrative that the election was corrupt, because an actual corrupt election is a good reason to storm a government facility. If an actual corrupt election took place and someone won who shouldn't win, that's a good reason. You must
show some sort of evidence.
Right, I know. So since we have none of that, since there is no proof, I do agree with Cody that today's version is less valuable than if we had stormed for paid parental leave, but I would be just as upset right now if that was the thing that pushed us all to create. They're felonies.
These
are felonies. And this one struck at the heart of the democracy. Let's not mince words. Today was an insurrection to try to overturn a fair election that has been called fair from everybody, from the courts to the states to the president's own investigators to his own attorney general. Everybody on the planet who has investigated this election has said the election was fair. The only person saying nonstop that it wasn't is the president, and then it filters down to his supporters in Congress and the people that in his base that believe this nonsense. Those are the only people, because there is not one shred of evidence. Even Lou Dobbs last night, cranky old Lou Dobbs was like, well, we all know that this was a corrupt election. We know it.
He's alive.
Why can't we find any evidence of it? I don't know, Lou. Maybe because there is no evidence of it, because it didn't happen.
How old is Lou Dobbs?
712.
Because I remember
he looks
him
great.
Like, no,
he does. He doesn't look a day over 650.
I only know him because it's like, I'm Lou Dobbs and I'm Barbara Walters. I used to parody them in middle school. That was literally, they were 2020, right? I'm Lou Dobbs.
No, Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters.
No, it was I'm Lou Dobbs and I'm Barbara Walters.
No, you're getting it wrong, Noonan. It was Cody's parody that was flawed, but that is the one he did as a kid. It was Lou Dobbs and Barbara Walters.
So Lou Dobbs did not host 2020.
Young Cody was a mistaken man who thought that he did, and the parrot. That's why it didn't land.
How does young Cody differ from old Cody?
Hugh Downs died in July. That's very sad.
Old Cody cares a lot more about parental leave than young Cody did.
Hugh Downs didn't even trend on Twitter when he died in July. I was on Twitter every day because wait, hold on. Wait, before we push this discussion forward, you have to let me finish with my nuanced, infuriating, badly communicated point. Everything that happened today was dumb and happened for dumb reasons and wrong reasons and was stupid. And I don't think that people should insurrect the U.S. Capitol. No, don't interrupt me, Craig. I know, I see you. Just wait. I needed this to be very clear to everybody.
My God, you're going to go into some sort of coma, sugar coma.
All I'm going to say is, what upsets me on top of everything that happened is that, part of me, some little tiny part of me is like, that's cool. I like seeing some chaos. But that part of me had to walk it back because the chaos was caused for such a stupid reason. And there are a million other reasons. Parental leave, clearly number one. Number two, I think Dragon Ball Z should be free. I don't even think you should pay a streaming service. Number three,
Troll Cody is back.
Number three, Avatar deserves a sequel. Where's my...
All right, Craig, now you can interrupt him because now he's going down the troll hole.
I put so much food in my mouth to stop talking. I can't.
No, that's fine. Let's get back. All right. So that Cody, I lost where Cody felt. He felt a little bit of excitement, a little bit of glee, but not because of what was happening. My first instincts were sadness, and then I was infuriated. And then when I saw pictures of people walking through the Capitol Rotunda with a Confederate flag, I was just livid. Because even during the Civil War, nobody got that close with a Confederate flag to the Capitol. And now all the years of fighting for all this, and white supremacists with Confederate flags are walking through the Capitol after taking it over, and watching the pictures, the videos of people breaking the windows and storming in. So I was saddened. I was angry. I don't know where we go as a country from here, but I want to go back to the security part, because one of the most troubling things, the surprise that these people got through as easily as they did was one thing. But then as videos came out of, and I'm going to preface this by saying I am a huge proponent, and Cody, you know this, for all the years you've been with me, I'm a huge proponent of law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, you are big time.
When I see police moving barricades, stepping back and letting protesters come through, and then I see video of police taking selfies with the people who have crashed and stormed the Capitol inside the rotunda, it made me even madder. Is like, what is going on? What broke apart that this was even able to happen, that they were able to get up those stairs?
Can I interject something with that?
Yes, please.
I actually think that the police did the appropriate thing. And I think the tragedy is that they haven't done the appropriate thing all year. Because if this was a bunch of black people, they would have shot him on sight. Guaranteed.
Right.
The Black Lives Matter protests, go on Twitter. You can find 10,000 videos of cops beating up old people, shooting black people. I mean, there's a lot of good law enforcement, but atrocious, un-American things have happened. This is how protests should be handled. They should not be escalated. You shouldn't be pulling out weapons. You should de-escalate. And if that means you let some people walk around the Capitol building, there were some broken windows, but they weren't flipping over tables. They didn't tear the place apart.
They used chemical agents against the police to get into the building.
But no one died.
There's a difference. There's a difference between there's a difference between if you are protesting and some windows get broken at a Target.
Wait, did you say no one died, by the way? One person is dead.
One person did die.
Oh,
Who said nobody died?
One person died.
Yeah.
Still less than in a lot of the other protests.
Fair enough.
Right. But the point is there are certain things, I agreed that the protests in the summer should happen. I drew the line, I think, because we didn't know if the legit protesters were the ones damaging things and not. But this is the Capitol. This is the seat of our government. This has to be treated differently than an Arby's in whatever.
I agree in sentiment, but I don't know if in practicality that truly matters. The location is only so relevant because the damage shouldn't exist anywhere. The path to correcting injustice should not involve, and this has been taught to us by many important people throughout the years, but it should not involve more criminal activity. It should not involve things that go above and beyond what is the inevitable request of people trying to make things better for peace, for love, for acceptance, for all that stuff that feels so ridiculous to even say today. It's the whole thing is nuts. The whole thing is, look, we had protests 4 years ago. We did. They were all peaceful. Nothing like this happened. We had it. We've had challenges in the Senate before to election results. We had one by Democrats in 2008, I believe, that went as far as today's was intended to go. What we don't have typically is a president saying the exact things that our president has said for the amount of time that he said them and never relenting. And Donald Trump has certainly tested how far that sort of conversational approach to being a politician or being a public figure can go. And today I thought that he, like everyone else that I think witnessed this, that wasn't actually there doing it, finally realized we went too far. The whole system, though, and this is to Cody's point a little bit too, because there's rhetoric on both sides. There used to be a time when Democrats and Republicans would argue like hell at the Senate or the House, and then they'd go have a beer together because they actually treated each other like humans. We're so far removed from that, and not even just the politicians, humans. We as ourselves can barely tolerate people who have different ideologies than us politically as friends. You can't be friends with someone who disagrees with you politically. And I'm not saying that those things cause today, but there are additional issues we need to address as we move forward as a society. We need to pull apart our identity and our ability to be human from these things that don't matter as much as we think they do. And I obviously believe that our election wasn't corrupt. Otherwise, I would probably feel differently. And if every single human out there believes that our election was stolen, then truthfully, fault lies with the president for helping those people believe that and ignoring the many defeats.
There's a point where you have to stop being a sore loser and move on. And this man cannot do that. There is ample proof that there was not widespread corruption in this election. Now we've covered that ad nauseum.
Yes.
Every rational human being knows that. Now, if you still are believing the bill of goods that you've been sold by this man, then I can't reach you because you have decided that facts don't matter, that proof doesn't matter, and you're always going to find a way to say, well, no, what's your proof? There's no proof. This is this. Now, who is responsible for today? I think you gotta lay a huge chunk of this blame at the president and everybody in the government who's been his enablers, including the senators who are now backing off this whole objection thing because they realized, hey, you know what? They were all smart enough to know that any objection today was not going to mean a hill of beans. That
it happened before. In 2008, we've gone this far into the process. Senators,
right.
You go ahead.
Right. Those were never this widespread. It has gone this far before, but it was always, they made it clear that they were not trying to overturn the election, which is what Ted Cruz tried to say today. But this has become what happened today, and what is happening now, if any of them are still objecting, is just political theater.
They are actually
to pander to people who believe this nonsense, this lie that is being perpetrated nonstop by the president. So those people have to bear some responsibility too. Now, you made a good point earlier when we talked, Craig, that the people who were doing the storming today,
they get the most fault. Yes.
Why were only 13 people arrested?
Look, there's a viral tweet about how if you were okay with the violence today, but against the violence during Black Lives Matter, you're a hypocrite. If you were okay with the Black Lives Matter violence, not the peaceful protesting, the rioting and looting, but not okay with today, then you in fact are a hypocrite. I believe that is a valuable sentiment. And the people who are most responsible for the felonies, the crimes, whatever they are that existed in both scenarios, are the people doing it. And I don't really truly care what the reason behind your decision on that action is, because we have to draw the line at not supporting those kind of things. We cannot let our society devolve in this way, or our government devolve in this way, where we expect something like a revolution to be the way that you get what you want. It makes utterly no sense to me whatsoever that we went down this road at all.
No, there has to be personal responsibility, which is why I can't understand why more people were not arrested today. When at any of the protests over the summer, there were a hell of a lot more arrests. So today, 13 people arrested. Not enough. But you also have to look from the top. And, you mentioned earlier that the president had failed today. This was the statement he made after being called on by fellow Republicans, Democrats, Joe Biden, everybody, to go on TV to make a statement to tell people to stop, because he is the one who told them to march on the Capitol. They did it themselves, but he was the one. That's why, the three of us can't go on the radio. We can't go here. We can't have a call to action. We can't tell people to do something violent because we would be arrested. The president did that today. And then he came out and said, and I quote, "I know your pain. I know your hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough time." There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This is a fraudulent election. But we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated and are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel, but go home, and go home in peace. That was the 1-minute statement that the president gave. Now, okay, if you want to parse it out, did he tell them to go home? Yeah. But he wrapped it in the complete thing of, but just go home knowing that they ripped us off. So he kept it up, which is another failure, to use your word, Craig, another horrible failure on his part. So he does have to bear responsibility for this. He won't.
Well,
he should.
I think that I don't know. I don't even really care, to be honest, as to how much responsibility the president deserves in this scenario, because neither of you could convince me to do this. You couldn't. I mean, I'm sure you could create some sort of fake scenario where my wife is in imminent danger and then I would do something criminal. But outside of those scenarios, any sort of ideology either of you have isn't going to get me over the threshold to go do this. So
what is with those thousands of people? What are we saying they're weak-minded?
I'm saying they chose to commit crimes. I'm saying that it shouldn't be that we lay the blame so much into the person who said the words as much as the people who did the action. I know that that's unfair. I'm not saying that no blame deserves to go the president's way. Absolutely. He is at fault in many ways for the belief that the election is fraudulent, all the way up to today, as you read through it, the reaction, the not having that reality striking moment of finally coming and being
right.
A unifying human being, still creating division. It's so disappointing the way in which all that went from the office of the president of the United States, not necessarily the human in it, but just the office itself and what it's supposed to mean. But the people who committed crimes are tremendously
there's plenty of responsibility to go around. Hopefully there's more punishment to go around.
It's like 99% of the responsibility is in any human being that chose to go to a government facility and commit a felony. But
if you are the leader of the free world and you are telling people that the election is fraudulent and they need to march on the Capitol and nothing will be taken unless you take it by strength, you are motivating them. That's just fine. Like if you and I stood on the corner or went on the radio, if you went on the nationally syndicated program that you host very well, and you started screaming about blowing up XYZ.
I'm aware.
And people did it, you do have responsibility.
I didn't say you didn't. I think that right now, the day of is the wrong time to keep attacking the political side, because the thing is, 70 million people still voted for this guy. 70 million people didn't attack DC today. 70 million people did vote for this man. So that if we go the road of political blame, we're going to lose our country more the way we have for so long. The point today is that a subset of our society went nuts. I don't care who caused it. And we have to prevent that from happening again somehow. We have some solution. Biden, I don't think, is going to do it on his own. I don't think any political human would fix this. We have to, as humans, now address the world and the society we're living in, because it is part of the problem. As I said a moment ago, you can't be friends with someone you disagree politically in today's world more so than ever before, at least in my memory. That is inherently also a problem. The people who did this today believe that they're attacking corruption and all these people who tell them in their own lives that they're an idiot for believing that the election is fraudulent. They went there angry because of this division that exists.
They also think that if you don't agree with them, you are the enemy. There's if you've been on Twitter, which I unfortunately have been a lot today, just before we went on the air, one of the New York Times reporters was quoting as they were clearing people out during the curfew. Granted, one guy, wait till we come back with our rifles, then we'll see you from 600 yards. There's all kinds of.
Our country has had mass shootings. Our country has had the rioting that went with the Black Lives Matter that we've mentioned before. Our country is not new to not living up to the ideals that the American people are supposed to live up to. No. That is not new. That is not the entirety of our society. If we all believed that, let's all move to Canada. Let's move the show up there as a group. This is a subset of Tim Hortons. This is a subset of human beings. This is not indicative of the entirety of the people who casted a Republican, and not even close to it. This is a small minority, but a problematic minority, to use a buzzword of the newest generation, one that my millennial friends created, and I'm sorry for it. But this is a problematic world that we're going through.
It is a problematic minority that is being catered to at an unbelievable rate.
Unbelievable.
Instead of being chastised and pushed aside, they are being elevated and they're being called patriots. I wish Twitter got rid of some of the president's tweets. One of the tweets he had afterward was basically, "I told you so." And I'm paraphrasing, but it was, "This is what happens when you steal an election from true patriots. Remember this day forever." So
he will.
He said sacred election, which was the word that triggered me. I was like, because he's usually a little absurd, right? But when he said this sacred election, I was like, also, Brian, I take serious issue with something you said earlier. Would you share the screen that I shared kindly?
Oh, yeah.
Brian earlier said that he was, unfortunately, he was on Twitter earlier today. You were looking at the wrong parts of Twitter. This from Breaking 911. Someone has set up a concession stand during the riot at the U.S. Capitol. You can see it right there in the bottom left. Chicken fries. Here we go. We'll zoom in. Chicken fries, Nathan's beef hot dog stand right there.
It's a little. That's hilarious. First, Cody, that's a very funny image.
Let me show you what else. Hold on. No, there's more. I've got some good tweets.
Craig's got a PowerPoint presentation for us,
but Martha Raddatz said today that for a majority of this, it was peaceful, that it was like anything else. So these photos are somewhat out of context.
No, I don't know who that is.
Are you saying that the chicken stand is fake news?
I'm saying that the chicken stand the chicken stand at one point probably felt a lot more appropriate than it did at the way the evening ended.
No, of course it did. If I was a businessman and I thought I could sell some stuff to a bunch of yahoos who were standing outside, you bet your ass I'd be selling stuff.
It wasn't anarchy from 10 o'clock this morning. There was a lot of peacefulness to it for a while. That's what Martha Raddatz said. This is not my thought, by the way.
During all the speeches, it was just a rally. It's just a rally. But the people were getting whipped into a frenzy.
Okay.
That's what those are. Listen, every rally he's done, people have gotten whipped into a frenzy.
All right, hold on. 10 seconds.
Every rally he's done, people haven't turned to the streets, and I think we're blurring the line. We're going to lose everybody. Everybody that supports the right.
Before I lose anybody else, I'm going to read you the 5 best tweets that I found today.
Okay.
This is going to make everybody feel better. All right. This one from me. America is better than this. The completely sane Jack wrote on a typewriter for the 2000th time in the Overlook Hotel in Colorado during a winter storm. That's reference to Shining.
Got it.
America's really not better than this. This is what we kind of get. Here's tweet number 2. The Olay body wash at CVS has better security. True. I've tried to steal it. Doesn't work.
Yeah. Try to buy razor blades anywhere without calling in 18 people.
Exactly. This one, well, that escalated steadily for 4 years. See, it's off the well, that escalated quickly meme because it's clearly escalated steadily. This one's pretty good. A friend just said to me, "Are we supposed to be working during the coup?" And honestly, it was the most American thing I've ever heard. Very funny and relatable. I didn't do anything this afternoon for work. And then this one, can't believe the creators of the monster have lost control of the monster. Is there any precedent for this in books or film? Hilarious. Objectively hilarious. So you're welcome. Twitter, not a terrible place to be, Brian. If you know where to look, follow me at Producer Cody. Those are all funny tweets. I appreciate that you all appreciate me more as a human now. And earlier, somebody in the chat said, great points, Brian and Craig. Specifically.
Yeah. Well, listen. I don't blame him. I'm not going to argue with him. Yeah. So what happens now? Where do we go from here?
That is the question.
That's the question, because now during this whole thing, when the legislators were all hunkered down in their offices, except for Nancy Pelosi, who was somewhere else, so some guy without a shirt could sit at her desk and put his feet up there. There were a couple of people who tweeted out that they were drawing up articles of impeachment. There were other people.
It's so dumb. Oh, it's so dumb. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just telling you what happened.
It's so dumb. Okay.
So that's that. There's that's going to come.
Good luck.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker called for the impeachment of the president. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think, and CBS has already reported this, that I believe there's going to be the 25th Amendment is going to be implemented. The 25th Amendment is where the vice president and a majority of the cabinet or the other leadership of the ruling bodies get together and they just say the president is unfit, he's out.
Why? I don't see where. Okay. What good does that, if you impeach the president with like 2 weeks left or whatever, I don't even care. The amount of time left, huh? How many days? How many days till this happens? What's the date again? I forget.
It is the 20th, so we've got about 14 days.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay, I got it right. That is symbolic and it's vengeful. And honestly, I don't even care. I don't even care if the anger is valid. It's stupid. That's not winning. That's not changing the society that we're in right now and making it better. That's people on one side of the argument feeling like they got a victory out of a horrendous day. What we actually need to do is something much better.
Impeachment, I'm going to agree with you on. The 25th Amendment is his own people. his own people looking at this and going, what more damage can he do in 2 weeks?
Who cares? Honestly,
everybody should care. Everybody should care. If he's going to go out and he's going to keep calling for this kind of action, if he's going, what good is he doing in the next 2 weeks? He hasn't done anything since the election.
Hold on. Do you believe that by making him no longer the president, that his platform is gone? I know that he's banned from Twitter today, but do you believe that his supporters won't continue to listen to him on whatever platform he puts himself on? You got to take him out into the streets and shoot him, Noonan, to get what you want, and that's not going to happen.
That's Craig Collins saying that.
No, I didn't. I said that as jokingly as I possibly could. I am not in any way.
Then he's a martyr. Then it's never going to go.
Hold on. I'm not in any way, shape, or form advocating the murder of a president. I want to be crystal clear. But you don't remove this man's influence for the people that did what they did today by impeaching him. You actually incite them to do more. The stupidity in the idea of going after him politically, and this is not an attack on you, Noonan. I don't mean this for you. For anybody that's going down this road right now, it's the exact opposite of a solution. It is actually more of a problem.
Is the solution then to listen? Since the election, people have been treating him like a toddler who's having a tantrum and ignoring him.
Of the people.
Just saying, oh well, that's just him. Now it is getting worse and worse. He's continuing to spread the lies. More people are believing it. He's making huge changes in the administration. There's 2 weeks left. What do? Do we just ignore him? According to the Secretary of Defense, he talked to the vice president and Nancy Pelosi to get the National Guard in today. They didn't even. The president would not even talk to anybody.
I understand. I understand everything you're saying.
What do we do? What?
I'm not even arguing whether or not he deserves to be impeached. That's irrelevant to me right now. All of it's irrelevant to me. His influence, if you believe wholeheartedly that it's the president alone who bears all the blame for today, and I don't.
I did not say all the blame.
I know you don't. I know
he bears a nice piece of it.
Well,
but so does everybody in the government who has backed him up.
Politically attacking that man then would only further create more of the problem that currently exists. If you politically go after this guy, you only get more of the same.
How much more than is going to happen on the 21st of January and beyond anyway? He's leaving January 20th. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, he is.
What's the difference? His followers are not going to change their mind because he left of his own accord.
I'll tell you too that depending on how this is all interpreted for months and months and months, not today's violence necessarily, but the impact and the success of a political candidate that was Donald Trump for the years in which we're going to have a cyclical problem, Noonan. We have to address the cancer in society, and the cancer is not Trump and Trump alone. The cancer is a lot worse.
He pulled the cover off it.
He embraced it.
He showed it for what it was and encouraged it to breathe.
He's like Bane in Batman. He lives in the dark. He's a creature of the dark, and he embraced it. That is accurate. That is true now because he's still embracing it. But that you don't win like in a comic book by just defeating the villain. If that's the villain, you have to. There's an actual issue in our society. I think that the Black Lives Matter movement and then the inevitable rioting and looting that took place, which is not totally. I know that someone in our chat said it was different groups of people, and a ton of peaceful protesting took place, but it's the same thing to me. It's the same example in a way of needing to address the problems that are causing people to do these things. And it's not any one human being. It's not any one individual. It's a lot more than that. And I think that the division that exists in our society is the biggest cause. And it's not, that division wasn't created by the current president. It wasn't. It's been getting worse.
I agree with that. But at what point, then what responsibility does the president have? Not just this president. What responsibility does any president have?
I don't want to answer that question today because I just don't care. I feel like the bigger problem is that the bigger problems outweigh the answer to that question today. In the future.
Do you not think that the president has a role in solving those problems or exacerbating those problems?
Typically they do. Typically presidents, the office itself is designed. I actually said this in the conference call today with you guys, that we're all human beings. And that's not an excuse for the things that we do. But we are. We can't live above, a certain. So I guess I don't know. But the presidency itself is supposed to be more. The concept of that is that you're supposed to be honorable in all these ways, that it's probably difficult for people with a lot of pride to be honorable, to do things, to renounce, violence and what have you, even if it's in support of you. Even if you're the one that these people showed up to support, you're supposed to go on television and do the right thing, not necessarily the selfish and at times, unfortunately, human thing that so many of us can do in these situations. And,
that is
the
whole purpose of public service.
Yeah.
You are a service to the public. And yes, it's supposed to be a higher calling to go in and work for others. You are supposed to put, and this goes to congressmen and legislators and your town's mayor and everybody. You are supposed to put the good of the people above your own. And if you can't do that, then you have no business being in office.
But no one does. No one truly does that well. Our current political structure, there's not a lot of, I can think
there is not an idealist that no one who goes into government for their first term is not an idealist. If they stay long enough, they are not anymore. Then they are.
Not Bernie.
We quoted another Batman thing. You're the hero until you live long enough to be the bad guy.
No, Bernie Sanders has stuck to his guns for.
All right. Okay. So Bernie is the exception that proves the rule.
72 years he's been a senator. 72 years in the Senate. 72 years active senator, Bernie Sanders. He has never once voted. He's the good guy. He's the only one. He's the only one in our Senate. Name one senator as good as Bernie Sanders. Name it in the chat. I dare you. I challenge you. I'm telling you, chat, right now. Tell me who is as good of a senator as Bernie Sanders. He cares about the poor. He cares about inequality. He cares about health care. Name one other U.S. senator. Do it.
Can I respond?
You can't do it.
Cody's he's rolling.
Can I answer your question with another question?
Oh, what's your answer, Craig? Is it Mitch McConnell? He sucks.
No. Can I answer your question with another question? I would like to answer your question with another question.
My elementary school teacher would say, no, you can't answer a question.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Can you tell me how many things Bernie Sanders has passed during his years in government?
Irrelevant.
I think it's fairly relevant.
Completely irrelevant. If you try, that's all that matters.
Okay.
Completely irrelevant.
No, there is no.
You don't sit around Congress like, I'm going to make a $72 trillion defense bill because no one will vote for universal health care. And I guess that makes me good. No, I want a guy with balls. Bernie Sanders got balls. And he's the best U.S. senator.
Marta says Paul Simon. Paul Simon was a fine senator.
Paul Simon.
Paul Simon was an Illinois senator for years. Bow tie from Southern Illinois.
He wrote Wings, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, you wrote Wings.
Was he one of the Beatles? I actually
Paul McCartney.
Oh my God, Paul Simon, Simon and Garfunkel. We're not even. Can't even make it right.
Holy cow! Paul Simon was from Southern Illinois. He was a U.S. senator for a long time, known for his bow ties. Maybe that's why I have an affinity
with Art Garfunkel.
Thank you, Marta. All right, one other senator in U.S. history was as good as Bernie Sanders, and he apparently was a guy.
I thought Al Franken was a good senator. But I don't want to get Cody all revved up.
Oh, man.
It's like that scene in Animal.
Our society needs to do better. That's my message today.
Our society should be all.
Who needs to do better?
Our society.
If we had 100 Sanders, we wouldn't have a $24 trillion defense budget and $8 million going to education for 50 states.
Can we shut down social media for a week in response to all this? Just shut it down.
I would love to. I couldn't believe I got sucked into Twitter today. Because you and I had a conversation a couple months ago, and so I was chilling on Twitter a little bit, and I was chilling on most social media. I would post on the show page about shows that I was doing and this. But other than that, I wasn't really posting to a few pictures on Instagram, maybe of the dogs at Christmas, or me, just my cocktail and Bad Santa on the TV, But I was really not engaging a lot with politics or COVID, because to be honest, I'm not going to argue with people on the internet. A guy that I know that I'm friends with today tried to engage after one of my tweets. Well, did you? No, it wasn't you. Oh, did you send these same tweets about sowing what you reap when the Democrats didn't say anything about violence? And I'm like, I didn't want to get into it with him. I'm not gonna get into a Twitter war with somebody. So yes, I think. But today, I was like, I can't, I had so many feelings. I was like, I got it. And I know it's not changing anybody's mind. I know. It's just,
you got to let them out, Noonan. That's what
you gotta
social media is for.
And no, social media should just be for, hey, look, I'm on a beach. Aren't you jealous of me?
It shouldn't exist. I mean, we should acknowledge that social media is predominantly bad.
It's horrifying.
Right.
It's awful.
There's a little bit of good.
And yet we're on it. We're on it right now.
We are. We're broadcasting to two forms of it. Yeah, it's predominantly bad. That we should acknowledge that as a society, that like, all right, there's been a lot of bad things that came from this. Let's shut most of it down. And we're not going to do that, but we should.
Yeah, Cody's putting, is that a robe or are you making a cape out of a towel? He has no microphone.
Yeah, I can't hear him at all. I have no idea what you're saying.
I'm wearing a cape out of a blanket. Thank you. Hey, Craig, pop quiz. I'm now wearing a cape. And let's say I were a U.S. Senator from the history of the United States. Now, if I were wearing a cape and I was a superhero and I cared about Americans and I wasn't some corrupt crony, $800,000 speaking fee to banks, kind of a Wall Street pawn, who would I be? Which senator would I be? Does it rhyme with Bernie Randers? Is that what it rhymes
According
with?
to Patrick, you're Red Riding Cody. Little Red Riding Cody.
I like Red Riding Cody better.
Do you know how much static electricity I am succumbing myself to?
Hold on. I mean, to respond real quickly to the troll that is Cody Gough at the moment right now. AOC has ideas that don't suck. Giving people free houses and free money and free everything is great, but like math is a problem to get that done. You know what I mean? Like math becomes the challenge. So for Sanders, your boy, some of the people would say that his philosophies aren't exactly American, that they might be communism, and that communism is bad. We've seen it be bad because it's corrupt. Because you give anybody power and they screw with it. And so too many government facilitated things. This is like, I guess, the most simplistic Republican point possible. Winds up putting too much power in the hands of people that obviously a lot of Republican supporting individuals don't trust.
God, power in the hands of people instead of the like 20 people in charge of government. Oh my God, how could that possibly
Not
work?
all the people, Cody.
Remember in March when Congress was like, we're going to give everyone like $1 trillion, and they did, and everything was fine, and literally nothing bad happened. Yeah.
Can I ask you, most of Bernie's programs...
Do you know why our government doesn't want to give $2,000 instead of $600? Because they realize that they could easily give us $2,000. Nothing would change. Everything would be fine. People would be helped. And then people might start to expect the government to take care of our shit some more, you know? Sorry, pardon the language.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I want to do it.
The only reason that it was blocked by idiots in government that don't care about people. Guess who voted, by the way, for $2,000? His name is Bernie Sanders.
So did a lot of people, though.
Even some Republicans voted for it.
Some Republicans did that, too.
We're not going to do the $2,000 because they realized it would do literally nothing to like adversely affect anything. And they can just wave a magic wand. Money's made up, Craig. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Money is invented by humans.
I'm aware. However, the dollar has a monetary value beyond our country. And if it collapses entirely, if the value of the dollar collapses on an international scale, we have problems.
Correct.
It can't.
No,
Craig.
it can. It can.
You understand economics. Other countries own our debt. If our dollar crashes, China is done. Okay? Lots of other countries are done. They own our debt. That's the thing. They can't let it collapse. The whole world.
Saying we're too big to fail?
The whole world relies on the strength of the US dollar. If the US dollar collapsed, dozens of countries would collapse, and we're talking superpowers. Okay?
I think your point is valid in the current world in which we live. But if we elect President Cody and he gives free money to everybody for years, I think that it becomes less valuable. You're currently accurate because we haven't done what you're asking us to do. The reason that your point makes so much sense is because the dollar does have value. That's why other countries bought into our debt. That's why no one expects us to just throw caution to the wind and be like, money's a made up construct and just everybody can have all of it. And we can't go that road, Cody, because then eventually we do devalue it to the extent that all the other countries don't care anymore.
No, we really
can't. They do succeed without us.
Money and they have money to actually spend, then it gets put back in the economy.
If we only do it like once.
Well, this goes to some of the big problems that Craig was talking about, the big underlying problems, the wealth gap, the corporate tax structure. There's a million different things that need to be fixed before we are back on a road even close to going toward where we hope to be as a country.
I have a solution.
Where we can take care of our citizens. And that means taking care of the weakest citizens too, not just the richest citizens. And I have nothing against the richest citizens because they worked to get rich. But then I also believe that part of that, and Craig, since you said I was quoting Batman before, let me quote Spider-Man for you. With great power comes great responsibility.
Good one.
And I think, thank you, I don't believe that these giant companies should get away without paying any taxes.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to be a villain. That was one from before. Go ahead.
Okay. But I also don't think they need to be penalized or vilified because they made that money. But you shouldn't, just because you have been very successful doesn't mean you should skate on your responsibility. And that means revamping the tax code because, listen, if you can do it legally, as much as we might find it distasteful, it's legal, and you can't legislate morality. You can just legislate legality. And if we don't make it so that these companies have to pay, none of us would pay if we didn't have to. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
So, there's a million different things. But yeah, Cody, I think your point, if I'm not misconstruing it, is that we need to have the government taking care of people who need help. Whether that's healthcare, whether that's a better welfare or housing system.
So I have a solution,
too, that we can't just keep shoveling.
Yeah,
can't just keep shoveling money.
We can't. I have a solution. Here is my solution. This is what I believe. Huh?
What I said. What is your solution?
This is what I believe will fix the whole problem. We got to stop electing people to political offices who are successful. We got to start picking people who are down in their luck, good people. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't get any shots in life. These people have to start being in charge of things. And I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with this idea, but they do because
that's how it started.
Pritzker has no concept of what it's like to not be able to feed your family. He just has no idea. So he's not exactly ideal in any position where he's making a call on that. You got to have a guy who's stoked that he has a bunch of meals because he's now in a political position, and he'll make or she'll make different decisions that are valuable to all of us. And I know that it's hard.
That's what state and local offices are. They're just regular folks who
they don't run on that though. I would like somebody to run on their flaws. I'd like somebody to go out there and be like, yeah, I've screwed up a time or two. I was down on my luck, but I'm a good guy. And to know those things, or a good lady again. I'm not trying to be sexist. And then eventually we can elect those people in because it would be great to see them be in the power. Even the people who rise to the top, senators, whatever, they start making $100,000+ a year. They eventually forget what it's like to be the person that they're supposed to be representing because most of their constituents don't make the money they're making.
Real quick, point of order. Craig, I agree with you. I've actually had this thought. I think it'd be cool if maybe one, because each state gets 2 senators, right?
Yeah.
Maybe one of the senators does the traditional path. The other one, you basically enter a lottery system where literally, if you have to make under $60K a year, $100K, whatever the state, it could adjust by state, but you make under a certain amount, you enter basically a lottery system. And if selected, you maybe get vetted in some way, and you're just put on there. I'm the $20,000 a year restaurateur that has no experience with this stuff, but I understand what it's like. I'm for that. I think that'd be really interesting. I think it'd be representative. I think it'd be really good. That's where I'm at.
I'm not. I understand where you're going with that. I'm not a fan of this lottery system. Just because someone makes under a certain amount of money does not automatically make them
you're right.
concerned or smart.
I don't know though. I think it's hilarious to get in the mail. You're a senator now. Oh, that's amazing. I made it.
Yeah, but most of us try to dodge jury duty, and that comes in the mail too. So I'm not gonna. I think we need to fix the system that says unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, you cannot run for office. That's what's keeping a lot of good people out. That and the horrible media scrutiny. But there has to be a vetting process, and there has to be some campaign reform where you say, listen, it shouldn't if I want to run, let's say I wanted to run for state legislature, I want to represent my district, or I want to run, now that I want to run for city council. It shouldn't cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It also shouldn't benefit me financially. And I know we're going to dovetail into some conversations you guys don't want to have, but the Biden family is one example. It shouldn't benefit me to be a political person. I shouldn't gain money. The selfish people in our society, the financially motivated ones, shouldn't migrate to politics because it benefits them. Politics should be immune to financially being valuable. It should
you mentioned the Biden family, but you should mention every political family.
As far as you're right, there's a lot of them.
The Clintons, the Bidens, the Kennedys,
Bushes,
right.
the Reagans.
I mean, Trump is a name.
Everybody. The Trumps, everybody.
But
so,
that's another part of the problem, is that there's all these different rewards that come with public service that are selfish and motivated. In
I don't mind them getting a salary, but I also think we need to have term limits. This system was not designed to have somebody in the Senate for 50 years.
What if the salary that we paid our politicians was connected to the amount of money they've made throughout their lives? What if that's the only thing that there's no, you have to make a certain amount to run and it's less or more. But if you've made a lot, you don't get paid anything. No one's paying tax dollars to somebody who wants to run and has made a lot of money. And as I said, you got to limit the ways in which they can get kickbacks in other situations.
Well, and how about we make them pay for part of their health insurance like every other human being in America?
Make it a financial negative for a rich person.
Make it like a regular job.
Yeah.
You get a salary. And I know that the Congress people don't make a lot on their congressional salary because 3 or 4 of them are living in an apartment together. There's not, it's because rent is so high in Virginia and Washington, D.C. Boo-hoo. I don't care. Figure it out. But
House representatives make $174,000 a year.
Is that right?
Yes.
All right. I take that back. Then why are they all living together like a bunch of weirdos?
Because they care more about stacking them piggy banks than they do about
stacking them Benjamins.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Just stack them up.
One quick point that Maureen made in the chat is that
that you were right. Is that one of the things she said?
That hasn't popped up at all.
She said it.
Brian, you said we can't just hand everybody money. Craig, you said we can't just hand everybody money. But like Maureen said, it's not free. It's our tax dollars. And like that is true. Like Craig and Brian and me,
all of
our paychecks have paid more for a poorly designed F something stealth aircraft, right? Which costs like $1.2 trillion. More of our money has gone towards that this month than has gone towards our own grocery money. Because that's where our taxes go. That's where our taxes go.
Then a proposed rule
about this, like, oh, maybe we should get $2,000. That's like getting that back. That's our money that we gave the government. I'm not saying government conjure up $2,000.
But we have to stop spending it those other places, and the government chose not to do that. They passed a trillion plus
military garbage.
I know.
No, listen, we've got to have a military.
We don't need to have a military the scale that we have.
If Cody's right about that, by the way, if my tax dollars went into an F1, whatever, I don't think that's a real plane. I want like one day to fly it. Like that's what I get. If my money has to go there, I
at least want the jacket.
Yeah.
I want the Top Gun jacket with my name on it. It's like if you adopt a pet from WWF. I get a picture of the panda. I want a picture of the plane, and I want the jacket. And I want it
rolled outside my house for one day. So even if I'm not allowed to fly it, people assume I flew it home.
Right. It's just in your driveway.
I have to say this. Brian, you said you want a strong military. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are not all for universal health care, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want the government controlling my health care because they can't do anything competently. Now, if that's really your point of view, look at our military and look at their budget. If you don't think the government can spend competently, then why are we giving the military trillions of dollars a year? And I will tell you, if you talk to anybody in the military, if you talk to anybody who has ever served in the military, I have friends in the Marines, I have friends in the Navy, I have friends in the Air Force, they will all tell you the amount of waste is insane. It is insane. We are burning money. We are setting fire to the money that we get out of our paychecks. For our
that's not just a military problem,
right? And that does not negate the need for a military.
Right.
I also am for universal health care. So
You do not need as much
you
for
can be,
military as
you
we
can,
have.
it is.
Hold on, though.
It is.
We're still giving stimulus checks to dead people, guys. The government does not spend money appropriately in a lot of places. It's not the military is the only place where we're setting money on fire. You give money to the government, and because it's not a business, because this money is just
spend whatever they want.
Yeah.
One does not negate the other. You can't say, well, if you want the military to be strong, you don't want health care. That's not true. There's a place for both. What we need is stricter enforcement on the spending. We need more oversight on the legislation. We need to watch where this money is going. There has to be a red line procedure when these bills come up to say, all right, yes, we need X amount for the military. That's fine. Oh, wait, we don't need this line for anything. This is just pure pork.
We need a single mom who's got like 3 kids and works 2 jobs to go through the budget just one time and decide that doesn't make sense. You don't need that. We're just going to stick to the essentials this month.
Right.
I was raised, by the way, by a single mom.
Yeah. This year we only need 6 jets. We don't need 10.
Right.
This year the other 4 we have are still really good. We don't need to dump those.
They have to give us the generic cereal brand of a lot of things, and then not the fancy brand.
Kellogg's, no Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
Right. You get flaky sugar flakes.
You do a month without them.
Right. You get Captain Smunch.
I love Captain Smunch.
Let's talk about something sexy. Can we talk about a hot girl for a second?
Who?
All right.
I don't know.
Kim Kardashian divorced Kanye, allegedly.
Wait, you didn't have an example? You just threw out a hot girl?
You wanted to talk about a hot girl?
Emma Watson's pretty hot. Does she do anything?
Wow.
You know who I like a lot recently? This is terrible. I'm going to answer Cody's question, though. Dua Lipa. I like her music. I like the interviews she gives.
Dua Lipa is a singer, Cody. Dua Lipa.
I'm Googling her. I don't know what that is.
That's her actual name, by the way. That's not an artist name. She's named Dua Lipa.
It's her real name?
That's her real name. I'm a fan. And now YouTube knows it. So like every video that I pop in, the next one's like, do you want to watch this Dua Lipa thing? And I'm like, kind of, if I haven't seen it already.
Oh, God.
Yeah, kind of.
I might be cheating on my wife right now. I need to stop searching for this girl.
You got to turn it up for now.
How old is she?
20-something.
All right. Well, that's one less law I've...
Yeah, well, whoa.
Dude, I couldn't tell at first glance. I'm like, wait a minute. She might be 16.
I and everything, apparently.
There she is.
That's Dua Lipa.
That's Dua
I don't know
Lipa.
if she's 25 in that photo, but she's of age.
I don't know. I didn't do that. I didn't check that out.
Cody brought it up.
Hold on. Sally just asked who's watching Bridgerton. Wait, is that show?
It's on the Netflix.
It is a show. Bridgerton is a show.
Oh my God. Literally, that's so funny. Literally, Sally, my wife, is streaming Bridgerton right now.
Is she really?
She just got into it. She's so into it.
Cobra Kai. Anybody watch season 3?
Not yet. That's
great.
Here's the thing. I can't wait, and Debbie can't wait, but Molly's here, and Molly doesn't want to watch it. So we're trying to spend more time together.
Yeah.
So I can't. No. But last night, here's my pick to click, fellas. Last night, I had been hearing about this show on Apple TV, Ted Lasso, with Jason Sudeikis. So he plays a Division II football coach who gets hired to go over to London to coach a Premier League football team, soccer. And I had heard it was really good. So last night, the 3 of us were down there, and I was like, I'd really like to start watching this. Oh, my God, it's fantastic.
Okay.
It's funny. It's really sweet. The guy, Jason Sudeikis, plays Ted Lasso. He's just a nice guy who really just loves to coach. And Cody, couple hot ladies in it. One like hot cougar age and one about 30. A lot of good-looking shirtless footballers for the ladies. And
why is Jason Sudeikis why is his life so great? Can anyone answer that question?
I don't know.
Okay.
But do yourself a favor. Watch Ted Lasso. If you get Apple TV Plus.
Craig, Mr. Comic Book Man, did you see Wonder Woman 1984?
I did. I don't know if we want to dovetail into that conversation.
I heard it was very bad.
Did you see it, Noonan?
I did.
What'd you think?
Well, I slept through part of it.
Okay.
That should tell you something.
I'll say this.
I didn't sleep through any of the first one.
I was so excited that was coming out on HBO Max, like the day it hit theaters.
Yes.
Like the concept of a movie that big being in my living room with coronavirus and everything else, and my wife being out of town for a while. So maybe like getting to see a big budget movie made me, I don't know. Something about it was cool.
Gal Gadot.
And Gal Gadot is probably my other favorite. Dua Lipa and Gal Gadot. I would like to play, checkers with both of them.
Sure, why
not? I think the first time I watched it, I was so overwhelmed by the awesomeness of seeing a big budget movie like that in my home that I didn't notice the ridiculous plot problems with it. And then if you just dive into one YouTube video and watch one person pick it apart, you realize, all right, you got to forgive a lot of logic.
You got to let a lot go. And then you have to, at the end, go, this is a huge budget movie. And the special effects on Cheetah, awful.
Yeah, they were not good. Yeah, that was surprising. Yeah, but also just the idea of Trevor. What's his first name? What's that guy? Trevor, the guy, Chris Evans.
Trevor Belmont.
No, the Captain Trevor is I don't know.
Captain Steve
Trevor, isn't it?
I don't think so.
That was a Castlevania 3 reference.
Anyway,
for all the Castlevania fans out there.
The way they bring that dude back, if you actually let logic play like a part, like is horrifying. And the fact that it never gets hit on, and then at the end of the movie, you have this lovely scene that is actually everything but lovely. If like you're using again your brain to consider what's happened to this human being that is now getting like a 3-line shot in the movie.
No,
so Craig, you said that you would play
Checkers. Yeah,
Checkers?
I think so.
Checkers. Yeah. I hardly knew her.
I knew it. I knew it. Here we go.
You
look like Harry Potter. In that shot right there, he looks like a Harry Potter.
A little bit. He's been mugging to the camera for the last 3 minutes, forgetting that a lot of this is going to be on audio.
Sorry, spoilers, Diane. Wonder Woman is a woman. I know, huge spoiler.
And she's a wonder.
I don't think I spoiled. I think I avoided the thing.
Yeah, you didn't say what the ending was.
Yeah, I just said that there's a human being that's involved that you should feel bad for if you have a heart.
Yeah.
No one in this quarantine cast has a heart.
I was going to say that present company excluded.
Do you have a present to open?
Yeah, why?
Don't you have a package? Didn't we talk about this? Is there a package?
I got a package.
Wow.
Of course I do. What are you,
for the show?
Huh?
Not
for the show.
At the end of the conference call we all had today.
It goes with a story because you were supposed to be coming up to Chicago last week. This week, 1 week, someday.
Yeah.
And so there was a plan that we were going to meet in Cody's garage.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I had, last week I said I was going to go to Cody's house because I don't know if you know this, Craig, but WGN gave Cody and I gifts because we're such valued employees.
Yeah, they gave all 3 of us gifts.
Oh, did you get some? Did you get it too?
Yeah, you didn't pick up mine?
Yours was not in my locker.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have. If it was in the locker, I would have picked it up.
There was an email miscommunication, Craig. It was my fault. I'll tell you about it after the show.
Oh, so you trusted Cody to get information.
It is my fault that you did not get Brian's package in your mouth.
Wow. I think that cape is tied way too tight.
Yeah. This is funny.
Was I supposed to pick yours up?
The way this story is happening is funny because I realized when we were ending the conference call that some sort of gift had been exchanged around the Christmas season between the two of you, and I was left out. I didn't know what it was, how the gift happened, but now I know, and I wasn't left out. WGN very lovingly gave me those same gifts, and they're probably still sitting somewhere at that station.
I didn't know. I didn't know I was supposed to pick yours up. I was never told. I would have. I went down because Cody had made the arrangements. We talked about this last week, but we'll recap quickly for ours to be put in my locker, which I didn't even know I would still have, but I still have a locker, and the combination that I had worked. So I went down on a Saturday when I knew nobody'd be there, so I could get in and out COVID free, and I picked them up. And I guess I was supposed to get yours.
WGN said, Brian, Cody, and Craig, alphabetical order, we're going to give you a cool thing. So I emailed and I said, are you going to ship it to us? And they said, no, you got to pick it up. So I said, would you mind putting mine in Brian's locker and maybe put Brian's in his locker? And she said, sure. Well, I'm off work for the next 2 weeks, so I'm going to go now. And I didn't have a chance to reply and say, oh, could you throw in Craig's also before you go on vacation for 2 weeks? Because like it was a half day and
My birthday is a holiday. It's Halloween. It's not a super big holiday, but every so often my family would forget to celebrate it well. They'd be like, it's Halloween. We're going to do some other stuff. And my sister has a birthday in December. It's actually right before Christmas. And so every once in a while, by the time we get to Lauren's birthday, it'd be like, oh, we forgot Craig's birthday. Let's do a double birthday now because Halloween was busy this year. I feel like it's another one of those moments as an adult right now.
Right.
You're like Molly Ringwald. This is like a weird, sad,
that's what it is.
Candles.
My whole birthday got skipped. It's
Does this mean that by the end of the quarantine cast, you're going to be sitting in your windowsill making out with Jake?
I don't know. It depends on how much tequila I drink.
There we go.
That's what this feels like, though. I feel
about Christmas, Cody, not Craig's birthday.
Cody, your wife might need to smack you upside the head. That's all I need to read of that.
Yes. I'm trying not to wake up my in-laws who were asleep literally 10 feet away from me.
Your in-laws are back?
They're visiting.
Oh, that's nice.
Evidently, when I was screaming about Bernie Sanders earlier, I woke up my baby, which my wife informed me of via text message. So
yeah, you don't want to wake up the baby with your crazy political ramblings.
No, and not that because you don't have enough parental leave because it hasn't been fought for hard enough.
He burned up his paid parental leave.
I actually still have
he
some.
Took it all. So anyway, I went to Cody's the other day, Craig.
Okay.
Drove over to Cody's. I'm going to say this because it was hilarious.
Oh, God.
So I get to Cody's house and I texted him. I said, I'm leaving because we set up the time. It was either going to be Saturday or Sunday. I had said which one, and then I didn't hear back from him. So we set it up on Sunday. I go over to his house with his stuff, and I texted him from the driveway. I said, I'm here. And he came down and he opened up and I go into the garage. But I get out, I drive into his driveway, and it's snow-packed, except for one shovel's width from the sidewalk up to his porch.
Yes.
So it's nice to see Cody. I say, hey, Cody. And for those who love callbacks on this program, yes, he did offer me a beer. Laughingly, because he knew people were going to ask because if you'll remember in the summer, I went to his house when it was 90 some degrees. He showed me his beer fridge, but he did not offer me a beer. This time he offered me a beer. I politely declined.
Never happened.
Well, okay. So then we're talking. It was very nice. We're talking. The baby was sleeping and Cody's lovely wife came out. And somehow during the conversation, Cody said, I shoveled the driveway. And both his wife and I looked at the driveway and then looked back at Cody. And I didn't want to say anything because I was like, well, I'm standing in the guy's garage. I don't want to, but I'm looking at my car is sitting on nothing but snow. And I'm like, okay. And I was going to let it go, but then his wife blasted him. So I was like, okay, that's,
open season.
So Cody.
Brian, did you say shovel?
I did say shovel.
Shovel. I hardly knew her.
When you get so aggressive with them, I don't even know if I get the jokes anymore.
You gotta slide it in.
Plus, he did like the Count Chocula version of the thing real quick there. I don't know what that was.
He went from Harry Potter to a low-rent Dracula.
I am a high-rent.
Isn't that Count Chocula?
Count Chocula? Could be.
He's a low-rent Dracula. I thought that was the...
He could be a low-rent Dracula. But yes, so Cody then got very defensive, Craig, as you can imagine, when his shoveling skills were being... not only maligned by his wife, but silently and implicitly, he knew I was agreeing with her wholeheartedly. And he said, well, I shoveled the path for the mailman. And I was like, oh, yes, you did. Okay. He did. He shoveled the path for the letter carrier.
The mail lady.
Was it a male lady?
Mm-hmm. Well, a female lady. A female lady.
I want it to keep going. I actually want this to keep going.
I'm going to wait for the awkwardness.
It feels good.
I'm going to let it breathe.
Well, Cody is practical. He does things to the exact degree necessary and not anymore.
Yeah, and I know he's not leaving, so he's not going to have to his car was in the garage, so he wasn't going to have to pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
But
I drive a Jeep, a very old Jeep with a lot of issues, but it does have 4-wheel drive still. So I don't shovel anything. I shovel nothing, Noonan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait to I shovel immediately.
Why?
Because I don't want footprints in it. I want the sidewalk cleared off.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Because like when we used to have a big driveway, the thing I hated the most was if you would drive up and down it and there'd be ruts, and then some of the snow would melt, but the tire ruts would still be frozen into the car. Oh no. You got to get out there and shovel.
I love a footprint in the snow. That to me is like a beautiful, picturesque example of what it is to be winter.
I do on the grass, but if I have to walk on the sidewalk, I'm going to shovel it first. I'm shoveling off the deck so the dogs can go out, shoveling the pathway to the garage so I can take out the garbage, shoveling in front of my house so people don't fall and try to sue me.
Yep. See, no, I was just going to make that joke. I'm a lawsuit waiting to happen. I've shoveled nothing, although I don't own this house, so I'm pretty sure the landlord gets the
and
ticket
I think
there.
If you don't shovel, it's probably okay. But if you shovel and don't do it right or don't put salt, I don't know. Every year we worry about the legalities.
I like that. If I don't shovel, I'm not held responsible.
Yeah, and again, like you said, it's not your house. Your landlord your landlord's ultimately responsible.
He should be on top of that.
But yeah, I took Cody the stuff from GN. Now I feel bad. I wish I had known about yours.
It's no big deal. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. Cody just left.
It's very nice. Yeah, Cody's had enough. But he gave me a little something. He told me to wait to open it till today.
All right.
So I'll wait till he comes back. It's his little box.
Wow.
And
so
then
there was a Christmas gift exchanged.
Well, there wasn't an exchange. He gave me one. I didn't have one for him.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So, and I had told him that. He goes, "Oh, I have something for you." I go, I don't have anything for you.
Yeah, I brought you the things from the station.
Right.
You did.
And I bought 2 beers from him that I told him I would. So I gave him some money, and he gave me some beers.
When he gave you the gift, did you want to all of a sudden give him more money? Was there an impulse to no?
No. I mean, I'll make it up to him somewhere down the road.
Yeah, I'm sure. It all makes sense. Depending on what's in that box,
I gave his baby a nice gift when he was born.
Yeah, right. Well, depending on what's in that box, I might totally change my opinion. Maybe you owe him nothing.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say one way or another. But he said he wanted me to save it and open it. Because Molly came in the office. It's been sitting right behind me by Snoopy under the Charlie Brown tree, which I thought was very fitting. Molly's like, "What's with the box?" I said, "Well, it's a gift from Cody and Casey. I'm supposed to wait and open it on the QuarantineCast."
With Cody there, and did he change?
Are you gonna? I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna." Yes, I'm gonna wait. I'm not a toddler. I could wait a couple days.
Now tease it. Go to black right as you're about to open it.
Oh, this would be fun. No. Hey, Cody's back. How are you, Cody?
I'm not here. Hello.
Would you have to go and hotbox your in-laws?
You have many years, Brian. Brian has gotten, this is for the audience. Many years, Brian has gotten me a very nice gift, very thoughtful, very well appreciated gift. And I had nothing in return or little for him in return because I was in my 20s and I was just lame. I sucked. I quit the show one time. There's a lot of stuff I did. It was bad. Wow. But he's a good dude. And this year was the first year in like 40 years of knowing him that I knew what to get him for Christmas. I was like, this just happened. Longtime viewers of the QuarantineCast may even.
The buildup is incredible.
This is. Now, should I open it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
And I said, Molly wanted me to open it. I would not.
This is, you knew what you wanted for Christmas.
I don't know.
Craig, I sent you a computer, so you got your gift.
Oh, no, my gift's nice. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
And I got you nothing.
Did you wrap it or did Casey wrap it?
I wrapped it.
You did a very nice job.
Thank you. I love wrapping.
Look how gracious I am.
I love wrapping. I'm very...
Me too. I did all the wrapping. I do all the wrapping. Craig, do you just give things in plastic grocery bags?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Well, you eat out of the pan, so why would you, Right,
I hate wrapping. I don't know who you people are.
Oh, hey now.
Wow.
Look at this. These are flamingo bottle stoppers. These are quite on brand.
Oh my God.
These are beautiful.
Oh
Thank
my
you,
God.
Cody.
Because
there's a pair of them in here, and they go good with the, I can use them on the Bourbon County Stouts. I can use them on Vino. They're perfect. These are thank you. These are truly lovely.
The first year I've known you 43 years, and I've
43
never known
years
what to get you until this year. No, it's because when we were on the QuarantineCast, when we did the Gough Island tasting, they gave us like 6 bottles to try, and you were like, I didn't even have enough bottle stoppers to stop all these. So now you do. And I got your aesthetic, flamingos.
Thank you. That is very thoughtful. I genuinely appreciate them. They will go to good use. Craig, why are you laughing? Why are you mocking this thoughtful
I remember this conversation from the Quarantine Cast because I joined in after the Goose Island people, and I judged both of you for needing bottle stoppers for your beer, and I'm still judging you. I'm still judging both of you.
Now, if I use them for wine, do you judge me?
I guess not.
If I don't drink an entire bottle of wine, is that
if you put your Flamingo bottle stopper in a bottle of wine, fine, Noonan, you can do that. That's all.
Then what's the difference between that and a giant bottle of high alcohol beer?
Beer needs to be drank. Beer doesn't sound good if it's in a bottle stopped container for days. That's a consume it now.
You are showing your natty light preference.
You know what I did? Actually, hold on. The other day, I'm running out of we're moving, and I'm trying to hit that sweet spot. I might have talked about this in the Quarantine Cast before. Like when you run out of gas while you're rolling into the gas station, you know that dream? That's the dream. I want to do that with every food item in this house. I want to consume everything by the day I move out. And so I'm getting less and less choices there. It's dwindling, the edible items within this home. And then the drink items are also dwindling. That's why I guess I have this whole bottle of tequila. But so the other day I was drinking I think it was a Modelo, and I realized it was my last Modelo. And tomorrow, the next day, which I think was just yesterday, I had a food item that I thought would better go with the Modelo. So I put it in the fridge, half empty, no bottle stopper, drank it the next day. It was delicious, Noonan, because it was my last Modelo.
Your last Modelo. Are you as you're going through these foods and you're getting down to the last ones, are you like, why the hell did we buy this?
It's more than like seasonings and stuff, because I'm literally trying to hit the gas station with nothing.
How are you going to use all your condiments and stuff? You can't.
I was seasoning hot dogs the other day. I was putting a bunch of like the meat seasonings we still had in the hot dogs while I was cooking them.
Seasonings.
They were okay.
Yo, dude.
What are you mumbling about?
He was mumbling the meat seasonings. By the way, on the television today.
Thanks. Let's go, dude.
Now, I know, out of context is funny. You guys definitely did that for a long time. On the television today, one guy was trying to talk about, he said the word shart on the news, and it made me laugh out loud.
Who said shart on the news?
It was one of the, I forget which reporter it was, but they went to a reporter and he wanted to say the word shout, but shart came out of his mouth in its entirety. And like, it's a serious day. A lot of horrible things are happening. Shart still made me laugh. And he just went right through it. He's just like, I didn't say that word. It didn't happen.
I don't care if you were at your father's funeral. If the priest says shart and you don't laugh, you're dead inside.
You're not a human. Yeah.
No.
I almost grabbed the audio for today.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see Cody's baby on Sunday. He was asleep the whole time I was there. I wanted to just get a peek because I had seen a picture just that day on social media of Cody's baby. He's adorable. Have you seen this kid?
I've seen him on the Instagram.
Yeah, on the gram.
Yeah.
Man, that kid has quite a presence on the gram, Cody.
Right. Before or after a shart.
He's like a baby influencer.
We just took him to his 4-month checkout. He's in like the 60-something percentile for weight. For height / length, he's in the 96th percentile.
Wow.
You're going to be tall like me.
Which is it, the height or the length that gets the more percentile?
Same thing, right? I meant that it's the same thing. Height and length. At this point, it's just lay there, right?
I was being inappropriate.
Yeah, I followed where Noonan was going.
Thank you, Craig.
He's a boy. Oh my God! This show,
electricity making a current.
Oh God.
Go, dude.
This is what happens when Cody drinks. I love it.
Well, we've all had something. Hopefully you have too at home if you drink. Hopefully you've had many a beverage today.
How much tequila did you have?
I have no idea. I have no concept. This was a full bottle before.
Did you finish your wheat wine, Brian?
No, I still have a little. Yeah, I'm down to about here on the bottle. So, yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
All right.
I think after this is over, I think it's another one episode of Ted Lasso before bed.
I think you just got to kick Molly out of the house and watch Cobra Kai.
Well, she's got by next week. By next week, I'll have seen because we just, it's one of those. It's what are we gonna say? Go up to your room. We want to watch a show.
Yep.
That seems
do exactly that.
Yeah,
I saw all 10 episodes back to back. I was supposed to be packing things, and it took however many hours that is out of my day, not exactly 10. but some amount. And yeah, it was great.
I loved
really loved
season 1. Season 2 was okay. Season 3, where would it fall, Craig, without spoilers?
There's a nostalgia component to the. I grew up on Karate Kid. It's very hard to not enjoy it, no matter how. Like I
enjoyed both seasons.
Yeah,
and
I think they could do
cliffhanger at season 2 was, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I really liked it. I don't know if I would say that. I think season 1's probably still better from a artistic standpoint or writing standpoint. That doesn't matter. That's not why I'm watching Cobra Kai.
No.
Yeah. By the way, the chess Netflix show was really good. What's that
Queen's
show?
Gambit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I enjoyed that too.
That was very good. Have you seen that, Cody?
No.
Get up on that.
Did you watch anything other than Star Trek?
We are on season 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh my God.
I have also been playing Hades. What else have I been doing? Oh, I've been reading the Odyssey.
Oh, that's right.
Actually, I've been reading the introduction. So the introduction to the Odyssey in the edition that I have is 75 pages. The introduction is 75 pages because it talks about the translation of the Odyssey, the history of the Odyssey, like where did it come from? Because like it's more than 2,000 years old, right? It's actually close to 3,000 years old, which might make one wonder, like, how do we even have an existing text of that? Like
how do we have an existing text of that?
Well,
I don't care.
Working on that right now, but it's fascinating. It's a little bit academic, but that's kind of my scene these days with the whole science podcast deal. But I've also been demoing Discovery Plus. Have you guys checked out Discovery Plus?
The new streaming platform from the Discovery family of brands.
7-day free trial starts at $4.99 a month. If you want,
they have multiple digital products that are all under the same umbrella.
Dude, Craig.
Is that what it is?
Dude, Craig.
TV, Food Network, Animal Planet, Cooking Channel, OWN, ID.
And it's called Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus. But here's the thing. Here's the big deal. They licensed a bunch of stuff from BBC. So they also have Planet Earth.
Can I just ask how you named it? Like, were you inspired by WGN Plus? Anything when you decided what to name it?
I wanted to call it WGN Plus.
But then you were worried that no one would pay attention to it?
Oh.
Dude, I was like, hey, Discovery, we should call it WGN Plus. And they said, why? And I said, well, because you should.
Because you were a podcaster on that platform.
Yeah. I think Discovery Plus or World's Greatest Newspaper Plus. I think World's Greatest
All
Newspaper.
of those would be good.
Hey, I'm now reading the Spark Notes of the Odyssey, so I'll catch up.
You won't. Well, no. You might, because you'll actually probably finish the book faster than me, because I'll be still on the introduction, but I'm working on it.
Well, Craig said he didn't care about the Odyssey. He definitely wouldn't care that I translated it from Greek back in high school.
So,
are you being serious?
Yes.
Who assigned that? Why was that a thing?
I was taking Latin and Greek in high school.
Why, that was the dumbest assign. Why did they assign that?
No,
what was the
impressive? Are you kidding?
It's the ultimate assignment, I guess.
Did you learn a lot from translating it?
No, I learned I couldn't translate ancient Greek.
I gotta say, I can't.
I learned I was not dedicated to that sort of academic endeavor. But I look like some egghead.
There we go.
I don't know that I'll be able to catch up with either of you with this Odyssey deal, but on Discovery Plus, Discovery Plus, over 50,000 shows, all this other stuff. But here's the deal. I'm going through the shows and like, it's not on the air anymore, but number one, bar none, across all Discovery's family of brands, my number one show is Mythbusters. You guys have seen Mythbusters, right?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I mean,
Brian?
I know what it is. I know it's two dudes who bust myths.
Oh my God.
But I've never
then
seen
there's a B team.
Oh, there's 4 dudes who bust myths?
No, there's a lady and 2 other dudes.
Well, yeah, you need a lady to bust a myth.
Very sadly, actually.
Like size doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, actually the guy, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Grant, what's his name? Grant.
Yeah. It was really sad. It was really sad.
Yeah, he passed away.
It was really sad. One of the dudes passed away. But
Is that a myth?
But Brian, that blows my mind. All right, so Craig, you've seen Mythbusters.
Yes.
When I was it must have been my senior year of college for spring break, my old RA was like one of my best friends, and she became a hall director at Clemson University. And she was like, come down to Clemson for spring break. I was like, sure.
So I flew down to Clemson and we went around and looked at all the weird and a lot of the, weird, like just stuff down there. It's Clemson. But one of the days I was there, we literally sat on her pull-out couch in her living room for the entire day. We like woke up, we're in our pajamas, sat there for like 10 hours watching Mythbusters. It was like a Mythbusters marathon, and we just watched it nonstop. I love Mythbusters. My wife.
This was your girlfriend for a while?
No. She was actually lesbian, so that wasn't there was no real.
That wasn't the question.
So she was
okay.
Women. I'm not one of that, so it was platonic, I guess.
Right.
So she's
all
great.
right, Chasing Amy, relax. Don't get so defensive,
dude. But like,
what a great reference! Chasing Amy is a wonderful movie.
It's a good one. So we're scrolling through Discovery Plus, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Mythbusters," and she was like, "What's Mythbusters?" And I was like, "Shut up." So we watched the Mythbusters, and I was like, "This is the best show ever." She's like,
"I
like
good show.
Into this. We're gonna watch 1,000,000 episodes of Mythbusters." Craig, if you're ever coming over, we're gonna watch some Mythbusters.
That sounds great. I don't know if I'll have a lot of time. I'm gonna start reading War and Peace just because I guess like that feels appropriate now to connect with you guys.
Sure,
I've never read it.
Yeah, you got to get those big, heavy books.
Yeah.
Well, just like Brian was translating from Greek, you have to teach yourself how to read English, Craig.
That'll be fun.
That joke should have had the camera come closer to you. That should have been a zoom in joke.
English. I hardly knew her. It's not working. It's the worst.
Cody and his wife were also fascinated by my flowing locks when I got there.
No one likes me. Oh, that's dude.
That was the first thing Cody said. He goes, "Oh my God, look at your hair."
Can you blow the locks? Okay, there we go.
Craig,
there we go.
Do justice.
It's not the same. There is a lot of locks back there.
There's much more than there used to be.
By the way, I think that is, I had two things happen to me this week I was going to mention on the show, and now we're out of time. One of them, like the longest hair ever, like an ear hair. I discovered it the other day in the mirror. I think that's like you're aging more, or maybe I'm just a freak. But it was very long and coming from my ear, and it depressed me a lot the other day to discover it.
So did you pluck it? Did you weave it? Did you pull it?
It was resistant. I was trying to pluck it, and it was fighting back. And eventually I just like grabbed it and yanked till it came off because I felt like my ear deserved punishment for growing it. So
how long did you look at it after you pulled it out? Because I'll stare at those for a while.
A long time. I almost took a photo of it, and then I didn't want to share that with both of you, and so I didn't know why the photo would exist. But that was like, that's a very old feeling moment that shouldn't happen. And then the other one is just the amount of things that are turning white. The amount of white hairs. It's a very sad time.
You had stiff hair coming from your ear.
I had one very, very long, stiff hair.
It is an age thing. I have tweezers and clippers at the ready for a lot of different places.
Yeah,
ears,
I don't know how to process
on
that.
The top of my nose. Get some thick hairs to pop out of there every once in a while.
See, why does that happen as we age? Why does the hair get aggressive like that?
I don't know, but it's not growing. It's not growing up here where I want it to grow. There it's gone.
You can get a pubic hair transplant. Put it on your head. People do that.
We should have just ended the show.
What people do that?
It's huge in Florida.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I can't be accurate.
Is that right, Florida?
Mm-hmm. They get a pubic hair transplant on their head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a fact check for you, the audience member.
Just a big, so everybody down there has a nice fro. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All the old men and ladies.
Mm-hmm. They call it a pro because it's
a pubic afro. Sure, I got it.
I've made several reference to friends and family about how I would get the plugs. I don't think I'd go all the way to pubes. Like if that's what I had to do to save the hair, I would probably say no.
Why would you get plugs?
Because like I want hair still. I want hair, Noonan. Okay. And my hairstylist.
You're never without a hat.
Sometimes my hairstylist for the first time,
a clear plastic plate on the top of your head.
There's hair there. For the first time, the hairstylist said that it's going. She told me the truth. The wife doesn't want to tell me the truth. Nobody else does. The stylist was like, "Yeah, in the back, and they gave me. I have pills. Do you want to see these pills
for your hair?"
Yes. Hold on.
I gotta give Tom the joke of the day. We were talking about the. I gotta wait till the guys come back, Tom, because they deserve to hear this joke. It's a little untoward, but I enjoy it. So what do you take? Are you taking like, what do they call it? Propecia?
No. This is $3.50 on clearance at the Walmart
Oh, well, then I trust that. That sounds,
hair growth supplement.
Hair growth supplement, $3.50. Okay.
Yeah. It has vitamins A, C, E, B5, and something else. There's other things in there.
Why was it on clearance?
I can't answer that question. Although it didn't ring up on clearance, they still tried to charge me $13.
Oh boy.
I know, but I got it down to the $3.50, dude. And I take 2 of these a day.
Off another bottle? Is that the problem?
Yeah, they're gummies. They're little gummies. I just take 2 of them a day, and it's going to grow all the hair back. So
is that right?
I'm excited.
Huh. I don't blame you. Let me know how that works out.
Do you guys remember that
Tom said, because Cody was talking about the hair transplants that the men and the ladies are doing it. Tom said, if you're a woman, you can only part it down the middle. Good morning.
Where's the camera zoom in for Tom?
Yeah. Do you guys remember when I got really drunk and wore a cape and started screaming about Bernie Sanders?
Yes, today.
No.
That was probably the highlight of, I think, the QuarantineCast for 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, so far. Season 2, episode 1, the one where Cody wears a cape and screams about Bernie. And then
it must work. I know, Marta.
Oh my God. All right, we're gonna have to. I think it's about time to say goodnight.
Mm-hmm. It's been a fun show.
It has been a fun show. We covered some serious things. We
yelled at each other.
We dealt with Cody. We learned Craig is on some sort of weird performance-enhancing hair drug that may or may not work. I'm praying that it makes hair grow everywhere but your head. That the hair is popping. That you look like Alec Baldwin when you unbutton your top button, but on your head goes completely bald. Yeah. Everywhere else, you look like a Sasquatch.
If you want, way too much information, I'm very hairless in other areas, so that would be a startling difference.
Let's see what happens with this. You spared no expense on your supplements, which
I did.
I like that. I like a guy who bargain shops for his hair replacement strategy. Listen, I'm not paying $13.50 to grow my hair. Well,
no.
You say, all right. Yeah. I'm in.
It was the last one. That's got to be a good sign.
Well, sure. What's the expiration date? 1984.
Hold on, let me check it out. None. It doesn't have one. Doesn't expire.
Of course not. Why would it expire?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a thing. Not for these guys.
No. Oh yeah. Marta wants to know where the Kool-Aid hair is, Craig.
I did it the day that I wasn't on the show, so it happened.
No, you didn't.
A tree falls in the forest. I don't know what you're saying.
You were busy prepping for your big nationally syndicated. I know you're not going on a nationally syndicated show with Kool-Aid hair.
It's not a video. That is a radio only.
Craig, I FaceTimed you the day after that quarantine. You didn't.
A tree falls in the forest. Prove it.
I was literally there.
Wow. You are echoing the zeitgeist of the people. Your facts mean nothing. That means nope.
I'm not suing anybody in court over it.
Not yet. You haven't gotten. I'm sure once you get off here, you blow a call into you've got legal counsel on standby.
I do.
On retainer.
Yeah. Legal. I hardly knew her.
Oh my God. Why does it make that noise? Why is it so?
Why is it so disturbing?
Yeah.
And I don't know what I like better. I don't know if I like the Cody that was drinking before and not during the show, or the Cody who gets completely blitzed during the show and then is out of his mind.
I had fun.
I wish we had a hidden camera to when he walks out of there and his wife just hits him over the head with a brick for waking up the baby and screaming like a lunatic while her parents are in town. That would be something to see.
Let's see it. Let's post the video.
Did you two have fun?
Always. Yeah. Always. It's the highlight of my week.
That's actually true.
It is true. Yeah, it is actually true. Craig's
really?
Laughing. Oh, you have a lot of highlights during your week, Craig. Let me have one.
No, that's a good highlight. I don't know.
I'm not living the full life that you are, or Cody is. Sitting in my office with a dog.
Right.
I have a baby. I cheat. Like, it's not fair. Like today.
Whoa, wait, did you just drop a bombshell? Did you just drop a truth bomb, Cody?
No, I don't cheat on my wife. I cheat just for being happy. Like, no.
My God.
It was like 5 p.m. and I was still working, and I was like, I'm going to work till like 6 probably because I got stuff to do. My wife just like walks in and just like hands me a baby. She's like, here, do you want to watch them? I'm like, sure. So I'm just like editing audio and like with a baby on my lap. Like, come on, that's cheating. Like that.
Did he help?
Yes. Are you kidding? He did better than I did.
Kid's got a good ear.
He's got a very good dude. He was like, "Why did you say that there?" And I was like, "I'll delete the whole section where I wear a cape and scream about Bernie Sanders during my science podcast." And he was right. There's not really a place for that when you're talking about quantum physics. I get it, but
don't worry, baby. Someday we'll commit felonies to get more paid time off for us parents.
This question is for you, Craig. Cody, did he shart?
Oh, he created content.
Well, yeah, that's a shart.
No, we call it creating content. He's a content creator.
He's a content creator?
Yeah. When he's
got a diaper influencer?
Is the content still adorable, or is it starting to be horrendous?
It's starting to smell a little worse.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
All right. Good luck with that content.
It's never adorable, is it?
I thought at the beginning. I've heard from a lot of new parents that like the first few are adorable somehow.
Adorable?
That's the word that somebody chose.
I wouldn't like lick it, but
right.
Like the first couple of months,
That's what she said.
It's
what?
Liquor, I hardly knew her. Right? That's what we're just doing it.
Yep, everything.
Oh my God.
No, I never found it amusing, adorable, fun.
Okay.
Good looking.
But
cute.
it's not like it's not grotesque the first couple months. It's very like just
unless it goes up their back.
Well, yeah, when they're covered in it, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
And dip them in the water and then you hold them up and you're like, it's the circle of life and it moves us all.
That's the only thing that I'd want to do. That's the only reason I'm sad I don't have a kid is I can't do Simba. If I could do Simba, like that's the only thing I'd want to do.
Yeah, but then your brother would come over and murder you.
That's accurate. But at least I Simba'd my child. And someday he's going to be King, Noonan.
Well, that could be true, but you're not there to see it.
You just got to murder my brother.
In the clouds, your face pops up in a cloud.
That sounds like a hell of a power.
Wow.
And if I got that Mufasa voice, that James Earl Jones voice, that'd be nice.
There can be only one.
This was the QuarantineCast.
This was the QuarantineCast, the first one of 2021. Like we said, 2021 off to a rocky start.
It's already in the shit can. I got one in.
You did get one in. Yeah, it's we did not wake up on Friday like we thought we were gonna. Like I said to you guys earlier, I thought I was gonna wake up in the colorized version of the Wizard of Oz. I'm still,
I think I woke up on Friday in a good mood. I think today ruined it.
Today did ruin it. What else? Did something else ruin it before?
No, not like this. Not like this.
Can I ask it, not to get like back into it, but like, why did it ruin your mood? Like, what about it? Like you were like, oh, this upsets. Like, I guess because all I'm saying is, the last year has lowered the bar so much for me. I've seen some really bad things happen from the U.S. government and from the U.S. like law enforcement. That like my bar is just much lower. So what? Well, like, why was today really that worse? Like, what about today was like, oh no, I'm really worse off.
I will answer your question next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Come on back to the QuarantineCast 1 week from today, and I will answer Cody's question. What made it so bad?
Okay.
Wow.
I can answer it now. I don't know. Did you ever think you'd see that
a week from now?
I don't know. I thought we were. Did you ever think you'd see the images today, Cody? Did you think that you would see a government build? And by the way, everyone who's debating why police and everyone didn't respond stronger, harsher, quicker, those are American people. We really wanted the opposite to happen, mowed down with bullets. I know that a lot of people don't like those human beings because they think they're not the best of us, but there was no win in the way that was handled or could have been handled today. And just the image of it, tremendously disappointing.
So it was like, you were like, you just felt like shame for the country kind of a thing.
I never thought, I honestly, there's a lot of things that happened in 2020 that you could say you never thought would happen, but a lot of those wounds are not of our own doing. This was American. Those are American people. And they made a decision today that I never thought we'd make. So,
yeah. And I agree. I think the only way it could have been handled differently by law enforcement is if there had been more pre-planning, more barricades had been put up, and they were never allowed to get into the Capitol. But it was, for me, I felt, not to say that the events that I saw last year were not as powerful and as hurtful to me and didn't make me feel as much anger and sadness as today. But today was a direct attack on our system of government. And so it bothered me. And to see, again, the symbols of hate, the Confederate flag and some of the other stuff, somebody with a Camp Auschwitz shirt parading through the Capitol, those images hurt me. Not to not to a more or less degree than the images I saw this summer in Minneapolis or some of the other images I saw. It just, while those are big problems and huge national debates that need to be had and problems that need to be fixed, this today seemed to hit more at the very core of what this country is. And so it bothered me.
Not that you'd want this to happen anywhere in the world. It's not like I get joy in being, expected to be better than some countries that deal with that. But watching the news today in my country felt like I was watching some foreign country with a dictator. It just,
that's exactly the videos that were coming out today made me think I was watching it from somewhere else.
Yeah. It felt like any overthrowing of something that happens in a place that's not here. And so our founding fathers would have been very sad today. And so, not trying to be high and mighty, but the stuff we saw, unfortunately, the scenes we saw this summer, as horrible and as troubling and hopefully future changing as they were, we've kind of come to expect those, It's horrible. It's not that it doesn't affect you, but you go, fuck, this happened again. It's an issue that we've been dealing with for centuries, and racism and things like that. So while they're horrible and they're troubling, they're not that. No, we're way past the I don't know. When I woke up in Bloomington, Illinois, and found out that the Target in Bloomington had been hit by rioters and looters, that was also a realization moment. Although, and I said this on the conference call to both of you guys, I do think that the world in which we've lived for the past year, 2020, and all of its issues brought about a lot of the behavior that so many of us scratched our head and said, how did anybody, no matter what the reason was, no matter how much we agree or disagree with it, how did anybody do those things? Mm-hmm. I think this year pushed a lot of people further down whatever rabbit hole they might have already been in.
Because there was a lot of isolation. So there was a lot of time to get into those theories. No, and I wasn't saying that your example of the Target, that still was horribly troubling. Yeah. And upsetting and made me mad.
And unexpected. I did not expect that kind of, I know that I guess a shooting is now, unfortunately, even a mass shooting is now, unfortunately, somewhat of we've seen this before moment for so many of us. But rioting and looting to that scale was new.
But it's happened. It's happened in this country. Well, you're younger than I. Those kind of riots have happened here before, whether it was LA after OJ, whether it was 68, whether it was the Democratic Convention,
whether it was a Toronto Raptors championship. No, I'm kidding.
Right. Or the Bulls winning, those things are not new. Whereas what happened today was new. And, it doesn't make one worse than the other. It's all sucky. All right. We got to end on a high note. We gotta end on a high note.
Real quick, let me say, I think you two have a different perspective on America than I do. Because for me, it didn't feel worse than July. I remember I moved into this house in May, and my first week of work remotely was in June. And I sat at my computer the first day I was supposed to work, and I had this beautiful brand new house. And I was all set, and I just stayed on Twitter all day watching videos of what police were doing to American citizens. And that to me was just so rock bottom. Like this, like Craig, you said you would expect other countries to see it. Like there was almost a gratifying feeling in the images that we saw today, because I feel like that's what our country is. Like I don't respect our country a whole lot right now. Like I think after everything I saw this June and July, I think there's just so much wrong with us, and we're just so broken that
but I think that's the flaw of our current society, and we're way off the tangent of trying to end the show. You're judging many using few, because whether it's a police officer, whether it's an everyday you and I human, most of us aren't the people that gain this national attention for one reason or another. So the American people that I know, and I've known a lot that support all different kinds of things, for the most part, are never going to go viral for a horrible reason, which is a weird way to say that. And so I think that our focus on the few is one of the many flaws in our current society.
I get what you're saying. That's separate than what I'm saying, though, I think a little bit.
No, because the George Floyd death is not every police officer. It was shocking. It was horrible.
No.
The fact that
I'm not talking about the George Floyd death. I'm talking about the weeks and weeks and weeks of watching video after video after video of a 70-year-old peaceful protester walking down the street and a cop hitting him in the back of the head with a gun and knocking him to the ground, and then cops walking by. And
did you watch there were a lot of videos of very peaceful, or like, I don't know. I'm not going to indict any I don't think all police officers do those things, man.
I'm not.
No, they
I'm
don't.
not going on an anti-cop rant, but what I'm saying is authority and the civilian like existence of citizens, like American citizens that supposedly have rights, like that was violated multiple times, like hundreds of times. And I saw the videos and they're burned into my brain and they really hurt. And when I saw the White House stuff, it didn't hurt more. Like I wasn't like, oh, well, this is like an extra step. It was just like, I've seen Americans like violated, like fundamentally violated by people in power who will not be brought accountable to any account. And that hurt me more than this. I watched this and I was like, this is embarrassing. It's dumb, but it's more of the same to me. So that's why I wanted both of your perspective to hear, like, why are you so upset by this? Because I just see it as it's a day in the life. Like, this is America. But
that's what I was saying before. The events of this summer were awful, but I knew it wasn't the first time. I knew it wasn't going to be the last time. I was still outraged. I still know that there's a huge need for reform, but it was not the first time it had happened. It was the first time it was caught on video. Not even the first time it was caught on video, but we could see it. So it added a level, but that doesn't mean, so I was outraged, but I had been outraged when I had just read stories about it before.
Yeah.
It wasn't, so just like you said, today's thing was a day, and this was not a day in the life. This had never happened before. And that doesn't mean I felt worse today than I felt for other horrible events. We don't have to, everything doesn't have to be a contest.
I got you.
Everything isn't a more or less, or this one's better than this one. They were all awful. This one today had a different level because it was our own citizens attacking our form of government for not the Boston Tea Party, not to rebel against, a king. This was us taking on ourselves. It was very Civil War. It was all these horrible things that people have been predicting and other people have been poo-pooing for the last 4 years and beyond. It was all coming to fruition.
The reason that it impacted you so much, Cody, over the summer is the prevalence of it, right? You started to believe that it was happening in our society every day in a bunch of places all the time.
The number one thing that upset me was the sense of injustice. That there was people in power.
But not the assumption that this is much more common of an occurrence than any of us believe. That wasn't the. Okay.
No, it had nothing to do with the commonality. It was case by case. It was like,
because Noonan and I think, are so impacted by today because this can't possibly be something we start to see more and more of. Today has to be an outlier, and it's tremendously disappointing. More so, I guess,
a harbinger of awful things that are coming.
Welcome to 2021.
Yeah, it's either an outlier or it's the first shot across the bow. And,
I don't know.
And it's just gonna get worse.
I guess the only thing that'll hit me in the gut harder than today is to believe that the kind of things like injustice, abuse of power exists in a much larger scale than I choose to believe it does. I just choose to believe it doesn't.
That's not what I'm saying, though.
I'm saying for me, the only thing that hits me harder.
Prevalence is bad, but no, the number one thing for me was the sense of injustice, specifically in that innocent people were being harmed and that there would be no repercussions for that, for doing nothing wrong. Like,
that sounds naive. Like
No, but correct. Like, what I'm saying is, I would see a video of a bunch of peaceful protesters in Seattle, and you could see them for like 10 minutes and walking, just hanging out,
doing nothing. Suddenly there's tear gas all over him. Stuff like that. Like very violent.
Bad people exist.
No, hold on. Rubber bullets being shot in people's eyes. Newscasters, like people in the media who are like,
no, I know these things happen, but it wasn't every arm. It matters to me.
Craig, what I'm saying is it's not about the prevalence. It's about
I know.
It's about the sense that the people that did these violent things have no accountability because of things like qualified immunity that make police totally, completely, totally unaccountable for their actions. Right?
We have to.
So, and that's a different conversation. But
we have to follow the advice of a listener and pick this up some other time, because there are ways in which qualified immunity, if you think about it from a logistical and logical standpoint, like there's ways that it makes sense. Now, is it being abused? Is it terrible? Yes, but
I'm not fighting it. I'm just saying when you see someone that has no power being
get on the show like
some way, and then you realize
the
person that's in power will not be held accountable for oppressing this person that's upsetting. And so when the government stuff happens today, these guys, one person died and that's awful. But for the most part, it seemed like a lot of them just walked in the Capitol and took a bunch of selfies and walked away. And it wasn't like they were hurting cops. Hot cops are hurting them. There wasn't a lot.
There were a number of cops who were hurt.
There wasn't
because of the chemical devices.
Upset about as there was this summer. This summer,
I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm not arguing with you and telling you how you should feel.
I just want to be clear about what exactly I'm saying, because I know people in the chat are like, this could be worse, this could be that, and I'm just trying to find some common ground with you guys, because we have a little bit of differing perspective on this, and I'm not, I'm not.
But I'm not shocked that bad things happen in our society or anywhere else, because there are bad people. What would scare me is the prevalence of it. That would scare me. And if you see video after video on social media, granted, these are all cherry picked and stuck together, you could come away with the assumption that this is happening everywhere and very, very often. And then I'm sure you get quite upset. Today felt like another thing that I never expected, bad things going further than I ever thought they'd go. So there's two things that hit me in the gut. The idea that something happens a lot in a lot of places, or the idea that a group of people was capable of going further than I thought our country would go.
And let me say this, Cody. I agree with you that one incident like that is too much. And when there are a number of incidents, even though it's not happening every day, it's happening too much. And that is a problem that definitely needs to be addressed. It needs to be fixed. It's been going on for a long time. That doesn't justify it. That doesn't make it right. That just means, it's one of those things where I go, damn, it happened again. That doesn't mean it doesn't affect me. That doesn't mean I don't care about it. It means unlike Craig, I do think there's a lot of bad things happening, because I think there are a lot of bad people. I think there are more good people, but unfortunately the good people are being drowned out by the bad people. And I know that sounds very pessimistic. I don't believe that this is happening every day, but like I said, any incident of it is bad. Craig, I agree with you too. All the predictions of violence today, I never thought it was going to happen.
Me neither.
I was surprised that the protest was as big as it was. I thought it would be another one of those where, it wasn't as big, but his rallies have always been big, so I don't know why I thought it would be smaller, but I never thought that those people would get whipped into such a frenzy that they would abandon democracy, basically, and go and try to smash one of the pillars of democracy and go up and down the halls searching people out, screaming, where are they? And we would have to see pictures of armed guards in the Senate chamber pointing loaded weapons through the broken windows at maddening crowds trying to get in.
That image, there's a photo of a face in a broken window and 4 cops, some officers standing there with guns pointed, and you just see some faces, some protesters, much more than anarchists. This is not a great way. I laugh because we can't end the show like this. Somebody's got to bring us up.
I'm just so surprised by you guys, because I thought I would have seen this in August. I've been waiting for this. I've been expecting it. I'm like, this is going to happen. I want no part in it. I don't encourage it,
I don't condone it at all. But with how angry people were, Americans were, how not taken care of we were during the pandemic, 350,000 Americans are dead. I would have thought that something like this would have happened earlier. I was not surprised whatsoever in anything that happened today. This is the natural, obvious.
Except for the reason.
Yeah.
This is the natural, obvious conclusion. There's no way that it could have ended any other way. And I don't think this is the last time we're going to see something.
But all the reasons you just gave for people to go do it, none of those people did it. The people today,
those people are still like, things suck, but I'm not going to try to overturn the government.
All the groups that you think should have been, attacking stuff didn't do it. The group that did. Go ahead.
Well, here's the bad news that we can end the show on. I have now finished this bottle of wheat wine, so I can't use one of my cool Flamingo bottle stoppers tonight.
That's a shame.
Which means I'm going to either have to open another bottle, or I'm going to have to go downstairs and convince Debbie that we need a glass of wine to watch Ted Lasso, and then I can use it in a wine bottle tonight. And then tomorrow, do
we vote? Do you want us to vote?
Oh, I don't know. You could. Here's this exciting news. This is something to look forward to tomorrow. I get to go to Trader Joe's with Molly because she's decided she wanted to do some grocery shopping before she goes home instead of having to drive from her house to Metairie, which is about 25 minutes from her house, to go to the nearest Trader Joe's in New Orleans. So she wants to go to Trader Joe's. And after our conversation the other day, Cody, I was a little nervous, but I was like, do you know what you need? No, I'm just going to walk up and down the aisle. I'm like, duh. But I might treat myself to a couple bottles of $3 Chuck. You know why? Because I got some wine stoppers that are looking to do a little business.
Yeah.
I got a little, put that in a little Shiraz. Right up a flamingo's ass. Shiraz.
I'm going to review this hair growth supplement online.
Yes, please do.
5 stars.
Hopefully by next week, Craig will be a hirsute monster. I will laugh if just his little peanut head is all bald. What if your beard grows like ZZ Top in a week?
Just to say real quick though, Noonan, if for $3.50 at a Walmart, I bought something that exploded hair all over my body, you'd go buy it. You would.
And I paid $13.50 for it. Right. Are you insane? But I've got hair coming out of everywhere. So I only need it for it's got to work on the head.
The one that came out of my ear could have been on the top of my head. It was long enough.
You could have done a comb over.
I should have.
That would have been nice.
I don't think I can do that. I don't think
lobe to lobe. Just go straight over, then wax it down.
Okay.
All right.
Good plan.
There, we ended with a couple laughs. How's that feel?
Craig, if you need a transplant, I got some extra hair I can.
Nope, not taking those ball hairs.
Okay. You can hear Cody every day on the Curiosity Daily podcast, part of the Discovery family of brands. Craig, you got any the big syndicated shows coming up anytime soon?
I do not have any on the schedule now.
All right. Saturday afternoon from 3 to 6, you can hear me on WTMJ Milwaukee on the WTMJ app, doing going back to where I began at WTMJ, the Saturday afternoon show.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
You do well in weekends. You do really well.
People love me when nobody's listening.
Sexy.
That is the best. That's the best time to have me on.
We had a lot of listeners to your weekend shows.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have Steve Dale on. We're going to talk about pet New Year's resolutions.
Dogs.
Maybe they'll be at the breweries. Who knows what we'll do? Maybe Craig calls in, do a little something. I don't know.
Well, ask him what he thinks about pubic hair as regular hair.
Mm-hmm. Pet pubic hair or man pubic hair?
Pet you decide. That last thing is up to you.
All right. I'll see. I'll see if he blogs about it first. He likes to, we'll bring him on, see if that's on his Steve Dale Pet World blog. That might be fun. Cody, anything else you want to mention?
No, God, no. Never let me talk again.
That's probably best. So wait, will you have moved by next week, or will you still be? Where will you be? Do we know?
Next week, I may not have the technical abilities to do this show because I will have moved. Yes,
you will be in transit.
I will be somewhere different.
You will be in the new location.
I will be in the new location.
Undisclosed new location.
Yeah, undisclosed. That's not. We're not at a point. I will announce at some point.
No, that's all right.
Tell me
nobody's business where you live.
Next week on the Quarantine Cast, tell me your address and your credit card number. There's a tease.
All right, no problem.
Kim weighing in that they have fake testicles for dogs. And on that note, we will say This show's been nuts. Listen to Cody on the Curiosity Daily. Listen to Craig wherever you can. Listen to me when you can. We'll be back next week with another QuarantineCast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, we will load it up as a podcast tomorrow on all your podcast platforms. And anything else, boys?
Loader, I hardly knew her.
I'm going to review the fake testicles online.
Wait, are you going to try to use your hair jellies on the fake testicles?
Well, whatever. I like to review things. I'm going to review some stuff.
All right, review your hair growth and the fake testicles.
All righty.
All right, talk to you later. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.